KFNC FL's baseball.
Fastball hit high in the air, deep left field, way gone into the bleachers. A two-run homer for Bobby Witt Jr.
Watch The Drive by subscribing on our YouTube channel or listen on demand with the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
This show is always going to stand on principles. Dippin' Dots are incredible. Red Lobster is the best restaurant that America has to offer, and baked beans are trash.
You're listening to Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan. Here's C-Dot.
Let's do this. Another day, another dollar, another edition of The Drive. You were listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. My name is Carrington Harrison. Excited to be here with you on this wonderful Wednesday. We have a lot to get into in today's show. Coming up in about 15 minutes, we are going to be joined by Sam Munson. We are going to take a closer look at the Chiefs draft. He is very much in favor of the Chiefs moving up in the draft to go get Mansour Delane. We are also going to be joined by Eric Bossy. He covers high school basketball from a national level. He is the national recruiter for basketball for Rivals page. We are going to get his thoughts on Tyran Stokes. He has seen him play numerous times. He is going to be on the show in the 3 o'clock hour to give us more opinion on the number one high school basketball recruit who has committed to the University of Kansas. In the 4 o'clock hour, Matt Tate is going to be on the show. He covers Kansas. So we have you covered with the top story right now, at least locally from the college perspective. Kansas, they have locked up the recruitment of the number one high school basketball player, Tyran Stokes. We will also learn what they need to show with the Kansas City Royals right after I give you guys a couple of news and notes. Number one, I need you listening to The Drive each day at 2 o'clock right here on 96.5 The Fan. Number two, I need you to tell one friend to check out the show. And number three, and most importantly, I need you to remember that the open of the show each day is brought to you by our dear friends over at The Other Place. So if you're looking for a place to watch, we got 3 game sixes in the NBA coming up tomorrow night. The Royals are playing some great baseball right now. Great food, great drink specials, and you're just looking for a happening atmosphere and vibe to catch the game. Then look no further than with our friends over at The Other Place. Stop in, grab yourself lunch, grab some food on your way home from dinner or from work today. Go stop by and see our friends over at The Other Place. So this is where I would like to begin today's show. Let's talk about the Kansas City Royals. The Kansas City Royals. I mean, they looked down and out, my friends. But you know what? You look up and the Royals are sitting here. They are 12-17. And if you take a closer look at the division that the Royals are in, they are not all the way out of it. Now, it's very early to be looking at the division standings, but the Royals are only 2.5 games out of first place. The Tigers sit in first place, but they are only at 500. The Guardians are a half game back. I mean, the American League Central is all jumbled up right now, and the Royals are playing their best baseball so far of the early season. They have won 5 of their last 6 games. Now, this is where I'm going to be a little bit of a Debbie Downer, but I don't think the Royals are digging themselves out of a hole that they themselves created. You know we love a good basketball analogy on this show. If you're down 15 and then you get the lead down to 6, you still have to eventually take the lead in order to win the basketball game. That it is great that you have done all of that work to get from down 15 to now down 6. But we've seen enough basketball games to know that those last 6 points are usually the hardest points to get. And one wrong mistake, one missed shot, you can go from down 6 to back down 12, and that ends the game pretty quickly if you are evaluating it. So, done for the season. So, yes, they have won 5 of their last through the roller coaster of leaving Detroit. They got swept in that on the road. A playoff team in the New York Yankees got swept on the road. They then came back home and started playing teams, I would say, more in their wake. Got to get to somewhere between 85 and 88 wins if you were trying to make the postseason. So it is a marathon, not a sprint, all of those things that we love to say. But at least for me, Rob, and we'll get to our random lineup here coming up in a bit, the objective of the Royals is a very, very, in order for that belief to start. 12-17 is a good start. Winning 5 of their last 6 is a good start. But for me, until the Royals get back to 500, I don't really know how alive those playoff dreams can be.
I said this on Twitter last night, and it got met with a lot of hate and animosity. I felt like this A series was of the utmost importance because there's a major difference in, 13 and 18 or 14 and 17 versus like 12 and 20 versus 11 and 20. Those are massive differences to me. So I felt this A series was pivotal to not lose because baseball is a marathon, not a sprint. And if you are 4 or 5 games under 500 at the end of April, which happens tomorrow, by the way, it's the last day of April is tomorrow, last day of this series, you can continue to salvage your season, and you just got to have winning months. You got to have a winning May, a winning June. Your winning months don't have to be, 17 and 8. You can go 11 and 8 and be a +3 and still return to what you want to be. You just can't bury yourself in April. So for me, objective one was don't lose the A's series, and you give yourself a chance in May, June, July. They won the game last night in the 10th inning with the Bobby Homer. I think they can win either tonight or tomorrow. And then you're looking at a team that is, yes, sub 500, but in a bad AL with lots of baseball to be played, you feel like you're not dead in the water, which, Carrington, you and I, a lot of times in our young lives, have had times where it's April 30th and the Royals season is over. It's kaput.
I mean, looking at it right now, there's only 2 teams that you would say are playing good baseball in the American League. The Yankees are one of those teams. They sit at 12 and 10. Tampa Bay is playing very good baseball. They are 18 and 11. Every other team in the American League, maybe outside of the Royals and the Red Sox, have either 15, 14, or 13 wins, and the Royals have 12 wins. So there are 2 teams that have gotten out and run very hot so far in the season, and there are a group of about 10 teams that are all sort of jumbled up in the middle. Baltimore, Toronto, Detroit, Cleveland, Kansas City, Chicago, Oakland, Sacramento, Las Vegas, whatever you want to call them, Seattle, Texas. There are a lot of these teams that are all bunched up. Eventually, a few of these teams are going to create separation. That has not happened in the first month of the season, but you are right. In some ways, I don't want to say this was a lost month, but the Royals got off to a slow start. You still have a chance to win this series. You got 2 more games left in this month. And if you look up and you're 14 and 17 heading into the second month of the season, you fell down a little bit. There's no question about it, but you have done a good job dusting yourself off. You have got back up, and you didn't have the month that completely derailed you. That is not like 8 and 18 that the Royals had last June, that they spent all of July and the rest of the year trying to undo all of the harm. They have done a good job in the short term of digging themselves out of a week in which they lost every single game. But it goes without saying, there is still a lot more work to be done. The Royals are 5 games under 500. They are 12 and 17. You are not making the playoffs if you are under 500 in the American League. So the question with the Royals is going to be, how quickly can you get back to 500 or better? How long is it going to take you? Vern was on the morning show, and he said this on when he believes the Royals need to get back to 500.
Thing that I've said of late is I'm looking at that series in the middle of June against the Washington Nationals. At the end of that series, if you can be a 500 ball club, that's my goal. Middle of June, get back to 500, a month to go before the All-Star break, a month and a half before the trade deadline. It's a 3-game series in the nation's capital. By then, I want this team at 500. And then, the J.J. Piccolo in this front office, they'll have a month and a half to the deadline to improve this team, and anything is possible. So, yeah, ideally you get to 500 quicker than that, and ideally you take 2 of 3 from Sacramento and 2 of 3 from Seattle and return home and start doing damage in the division. But I have 28 games of evidence to go off of. It's hard for me to sit here and confidently say the boys are going to take 2 of 3. Yes, that should be the expectation.
So that is Josh Vernier. He was on the morning show earlier today talking about the Royals. He has set a time frame of they need to be at 500 by June. That feels like a realistic timetable to me. Let's say the Royals finished a month. Let's say they split these next 2 games, but that means they win the series. They will start May at 13 and 18. If you can figure out a way to play a little bit over 500 baseball and you can completely start at zero heading into the summer, I think that's a good position to be in. You will probably be not that far out of it in the American League Central. I don't really see anybody in the next 30 days really running that far of a race where if the Royals play 6-7 over the next month or so, you look up and you're still 5.5 games out of the division. So that's a good goal. If this team can try to get back to 500 by June, JJ Picollo was on the midday show earlier, and he said that's one of his goals is step one is they got to get back to 500.
And understand this is a grind. It's every day, one day at a time, win series, and get yourself back to 500 first. And then start that climb, trying to get back on top of the division. But we can't get too far ahead of ourselves. We've got to worry about tonight in Sacramento first.
So that was JJ Picollo on the midday show talking about the Royals' goal. The goals are simple. They got to get back to 500. There's still some work to do. We'll see if they can do it. Coming up momentarily, we are going to be joined by Sam Munson of the 33rd team. We'll get his thoughts on the Chiefs draft. But we got a very simple rule on this show. If we begin the show talking about the Royals, it can only mean one thing. Hit me, Rob.
We're where you want to be. Baseball with the Royals.
Carrington, today's Random Royals lineup takes us back to the year 2009, where on this date in Royals history, the Royals beat the Toronto Blue Jays 11-3. Here was your Royals random lineup. Leading off in center field, Coco Crisp.
Cavelli. Shout out to Cavelli Crisp.
Batting second, the left fielder, Willie Bloomquist. Batting third, the third baseman, Mark Teahen. Batting fourth, the right fielder, Jose Guillen.
Criminal. Thief is what he was. He was an absolute thief is what he was.
Batting fifth, the first baseman, Billy Butler. Batting sixth, the designated...
You got to start saying Royals legend for some of these people. I don't like when you don't call them what they are. Royals legend is what you should be calling them.
Batting sixth, the designated hitter, Mike Jacobs. Batting seventh, the second baseman, Alberto Callaspo. Batting eighth, the shortstop, Royals legend, Mike Aviles.
Let's do it.
And batting ninth, the catcher, Miguel Olivo. By the way, Carrington, the Royals won on this date in 2009 because they got 7 strong innings from Zach Greinke, who did give up 2 earned runs, rising his ERA to .50. This was Zach Greinke's Cy Young season. His ERA was .50 at this point in the baseball year.
Text line 913-586-7965. CDOT, no, the Royals just need to be 500 at the All-Star break and then turn on the Jets. They don't need to be 500 at June. They just need to be close. I mean, if they are just at 500, they are going to have to play a blistering pace in the second half of it to just give you an idea of where teams were last year at the All-Star break. So on July 18th, so when teams got back from the All-39, the Astros, the American West leader, they were 56-41. If the Royals are just at 500 at the All-Star break, they are going to have to play an incredible pace down the stretch. If you are looking at it, the teams that were 500 at the All-Star break, Texas they were 7.5 games out of their division. If you're looking at a couple other teams, I mean, you're going to be about 6 to 8 games back historically if you are at 500. Now, that's not to say you are completely eliminated, but they need to get back to 500 earlier than that. The American League is just not going to stay jumbled up like this. Somebody gets hot. Somebody rattles off 9 of 11. Somebody wins 10 of 13 games and starts to create that separation. There's going to be more than just 2 good teams in the American League the longer we keep doing this thing. So, yes, I'm all for treading water and getting back there. They need to be at 500 closer toward the end of May, early part of June, not the middle of July if they want to get themselves out of the hole that they dug up in the first portion of the season. Coming up on the other side, we're going to be joined by Sam Munson of the 33rd team. We're going to go through the NFL draft. We'll do that next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PROMO25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PROMO25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code PROMO25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
And Doug.
There's nowhere I wouldn't go to help someone customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual, even if it means sitting front row at a comedy show.
Hey everyone, check out this guy and his bird. What is this, your first date?
Oh, no. We help people customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual together. We're married. Me to a human, him to a bird.
Yeah, the bird looks out of your league anyways.
Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
New treatments for joint pain are here. By now, you've heard about regenerative medicine. If you're wondering if you're a good candidate, answer these questions. First, does chronic pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or other joints keep you from doing the things you enjoy? Golfing, jogging, time with the family. Does it hurt doing the things you need to do, like getting out of bed, sleeping, working, and walking? And finally, do you want to avoid surgery and all of the pain, long recovery, and uncertainty that comes with it? If you answered yes to any of those, you need to call QC Kinetics now. Learn about exciting advancements in regenerative treatments that can give you long-lasting pain relief with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. Get your free consultation today. Call QC Kinetics. That's QC Kinetics. Here's the phone number.
Call now, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299.
If you're carrying a lot of credit card or personal loan debt, every month can start to feel the same. All those bills, all those due dates, all that stress. There's a solution that's designed to make it easier for you. National Debt Relief could put you on the fast track to paying off your credit card debt, personal loans, and even medical debt for less than you owe, with just one low monthly payment you can afford. And no, it's not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. It's a real, affordable debt relief program that could save you lots of money. National Debt Relief has already helped over 1 million people with their debt and has thousands of 5-star reviews and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. So if you owe $10,000 or more, don't wait. Call 800-300-4411 now to see if you qualify. That's 800-300-4411. One call could help reduce what you owe and simplify your monthly payments. Call 800-300-4411 now to find out how much you could save.
Hey everyone, I'm Josh Radner, and I am so excited to tell you about How We Made Your Mother, a rewatch podcast looking back at How I Met Your Mother. And I'm here with Craig Thomas, who co-created the show along with Carter Bays. Hi, Craig.
Hey, Josh. Somehow it has been 20 years since the show premiered. I'm going to check the math on that. 10 years since it went off the air, and we thought that made this a perfect time to look back, see what the hell we did, and why the show still seems to resonate with fans around the world today.
Follow and listen to How We Made Your Mother wherever you get your podcast.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Trey Smith from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to the Drive with CDOT on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Text line 913-586-7965. We were talking about the Royals and their path to getting back in it. And Vern says that his goal for the Royals is to be at 500 at the end of May, early part of June, if they really want to be in it. We were kind of going back and forth with the text line. Someone sent in, CDOT, it doesn't matter as long as you win your division. If everybody in your division is under 500, then you don't have to be under 500. I guess where I would push back is if you were kind of figure out a way to get somewhere in that range between 85 and 88 wins, I don't care how, I don't care who the wins have to come against, but the Royals need to figure out a way to get there. They are 12-17 so far. They got to get going. Let's transition to the NFL draft. Let's be joined by Sam Munson of the 33rd team to get his thoughts on how Kansas City did in last week's draft. Sammy, how's it going, Sam?
Hey, how's it going? Good.
Doing fantastic. So I was listening to your podcast, and you were very, very positive about Mansour Delane. What kind of corner is he?
Yeah, I really like Mansour Delane. I think he's in this draft where everyone's been talking about there's a lack of blue chip players and a lack of star power and these guys that aren't top tier prospects. I'm kind of curious why Delane wasn't talked about as one of those blue chip prospects the whole way. I mean, his tape at LSU is absolutely incredible. He's a really patient corner. That's the kind of style he plays. If you think the way Patrick Surtain, the second in Denver, plays the game, this sort of patient guy, not necessarily going to be jamming receivers at the line, but can just mirror them off the line, stay in sticky man coverage, has a good feel for zones as well. Really the only kind of negatives in his profile are it was 1 year of spectacular tape. You know, he was good, not great before that. And then last year was absolutely spectacular. And then he's got short arms, you know, for a cornerback. But number one, that seems to be a thing these days. Everybody's got short arms relative to previous. We're getting more and more outliers. And number two, it's never showed up as a problem anywhere. So I don't really see that being an issue.
When you watch him, what do you think his ceiling can be? I asked that question because if you take a corner with the 6th overall pick, you obviously have very lofty expectations.
Yeah, I think his ceiling is sky high. I mean, we saw it last year. He gave up a passer rating of like 31 into his coverage, no touchdowns allowed, no penalties. I mean, that is elite shutdown corner level play in a high level conference. So I think that's his ceiling is, you know, legitimate top tier shutdown corner. Maybe, you know, it's difficult to say with corners because it's such a volatile position. Those guys can have amazing seasons and then average seasons following, even though they're the same kind of player. So, you know, maybe he's not going to be that guy every single year, but I think that's absolutely within his range of outcomes.
Is there a player comparison when you watch him, when you study the tape and the film? Is there a corner that he reminds you of?
He's not as big as Patrick Surtain, but I think he plays the game in a very similar way. Like, they have this incredible level of patience where, you know, they're not necessarily going to get super physical and aggressive and jam corners or jam receivers at the line, but they stay incredibly patient. It's very difficult to beat them with your release, with your route running at the stem and over the top. Like, they don't get beaten on double moves either. So he does remind me a lot of Surtain, albeit with a slightly different body shape and size.
We had a guest yesterday, and he was acknowledging that, you know, the draft, there are different outcomes. You know, it's like a choose-your-own adventure book. You can go here, you can go this way, and ultimately at the end, we will see if you are right or wrong. Do you think Kansas City was better making the trade that they made to move up to go get Delane, or staying at 9, they could have got Caleb Downs, and then keeping the draft pick assets?
Yeah, I think given the whole at corner that they had opened up on that roster, I think, you know, they were going to try and, you know, fill that in the draft somewhere. And once Jermod McCoy's injury became a significant sort of factor in the draft evaluation process, and obviously he fell all the way to day 3, the first pick of the 4th round, once that was off the table as an alternate option in the first round somewhere, I think this draft became basically a one-corner draft. It was Mansour Delane, by far number 1 cornerback in this draft, and then everybody else started to fall, and you could see that the way the draft unfolded. Obviously, McCoy fell all the way. Avion Terrell fell into the 2nd round. And people were sort of debating, you know, is it Chris Johnson from San Diego State as the cornerback 2? Is it D'Angelo Pons, even though he's 5'8"? And that was kind of the way this draft went. So if you really wanted to get a starting cornerback out of this draft, I think it's entirely reasonable, justifiable to say Delane's the guy. Let's go up to 6 and go get him.
Right now, we're joined by Sam Munson of the 33rd team, taking a closer look at the Chiefs NFL draft. Let's move down the line here. Let's talk about Peter Woods. What stands out to you on film when you watch him?
He's such a fascinating prospect because I think the film is pretty good, but it's inconsistent and it's kind of confusing. When you watch his tape, he's incredibly small. I mean, he's visibly a very small defensive tackle, but it's at times played up at, approaching 320 pounds at Clemson, they would move him to the edge as well at that size, and he was productive doing that. He's very disruptive. He pinballs around there inside, both in a good and a bad way. Sometimes, he can be moved at the point of attack and kind of bounced around by interior linemen, but he's also consistently kind of pinballing his way into the backfield and making plays. Sheds blocks very well. He's got good quickness. So I think he's a very disruptive player who was extremely good very early in his career. And that is there's still power to that when you sort of look at draft profiles. These guys that are very good very early, it's sort of typically a proxy for just general talent level.
When I think about the Chiefs draft, I think one thing became very clear. They were not willing to take a gamble in the top 10. Downs is a gamble because of the positional value. Bain was a player that a lot of people mocked to Kansas City, but he had the arms issue. They were not willing to gamble at top 10. They moved up to 6 to get a surefire kind of prospect. They were willing to gamble a little bit more at 29, and that's just what the back half of the first round creates.
Yeah, I mean, I think, Peter Woods is a gamble the higher up you take him. But once you start getting into this fringe first, second round crossover area, I think he becomes really good value. I mean, this was a guy who was expected to be at one point, a top 10, top 5 player in this draft before a disappointing final season at Clemson. But number one, he was not alone in that. I mean, basically that entire Clemson roster underachieved, particularly the defense this year. They almost all took a step backwards. He was used in weird ways within that defense. I think there's a lot of ways you could talk yourself into this season not being his fault. And as I say, you turn on the tape, you do see an awful lot of disruption, and there's a lot to like about his overall profile, sort of from an analytic point of view, that the overall body of work is still very good.
Right now, we're talking NFL draft with Sam Munson of the 33rd team going through the Chiefs picks. Sam, they're at 29. Do you think the Chiefs made the right decision to go get Woods, or do you think they should have got Omar Cooper, who went right after him, or Keldrick Falk, the edge rusher from Auburn, who went 2 picks after Woods?
Yeah, I mean, I think any of them would have been solid moves, solid additions. I really like Omar Cooper, but I understand, preferring Peter Woods or deciding the defensive line is a need that you wanted to fill more acutely. I would have been okay with any one of those moves. I think, again, similar to Peter Woods, I think Falk, when he was being talked about as a top 10 player, I didn't like that. I thought there's enough to be scared about. There's enough red flags and reasons to be concerned that I wouldn't want to draft him in the top 10. But once you start talking about the bottom of the first round, 29, well, then you start selling yourself on the upside and saying, look, the guy's 20 years old, 6'6", 275 pounds. He's already a good run defender. And his pass rushing technique, his moves, are fairly rudimentary. So, a 20-year-old with rudimentary pass rushing moves, you would imagine that's an area he could improve on a lot pretty quickly. So I think that's the thing about the bottom of the first round is you start selling yourself on the ceiling or the upside or the potential development of a guy like that. Whereas in the top 10, you're focused on the negatives and the reasons they're not this super clean blue chip prospect.
Are you surprised that the Chiefs weren't more aggressive at wide receiver this offseason?
Yeah, a little bit. I think, but this is the issue with the Chiefs offseason is once they traded away Trent McDuffie, they opened up this giant need on the roster that wasn't there going into the offseason. And it's not like going into the offseason, we didn't think that they had areas that needed addressing. So, they may have just looked at it and decided that there were too many needs to fill in one draft. And ultimately, you just got to take the best football players, hope that they can fill those positions and, figure the rest out. They didn't target wide receiver in a major way. They didn't target tight end in this draft where everybody was reaching for tight ends. So I think that's another kind of interesting element of their draft. But instead, they got, a lot of defensive help.
We mentioned choices. This scenario came up again for the Chiefs at 40. The Chiefs were targeting an edge rusher. They go get R. Mason Thomas. They passed on Cassius Howell, who is from Kansas City. They also passed on Zion Young, who played at Missouri. All 3 of those players stay in the AFC. How did you have those 3 guys handicapped at edge rusher?
I love Cassius Howell, but I'm also aware that he would be the historical outlier of all outliers because of his arm length. I mean, people focused on Reuben Bain's arm length, and Cassius Howell's are even shorter than that. There's some reasons to be scared of Cassius Howell, but you watch him play, and the guy is just consistently disruptive. consistently making plays. He's better against the run, I think, than people give him credit for, as long as you let him defend the run with attacking, with slashing into the backfield, with penetrating, rather than expecting him to set a hard edge and try and hold the point of attack. So I would have had Cassius Howell as the top of that group, but I understand entirely a team just looking at his negatives and saying that, we're not going to mess with that. We're going to let somebody else play with that player and see if they can get him to do the same things in the NFL. R. Mason Thomas, I really like. He's got similar strengths to Cassius Howell and perhaps doesn't have the same negative in terms of the arm length issue. And then, Zion Young, I was just a little bit lower on than the other two.
R. Mason Thomas, at least if you look at some of the physical traits, that doesn't seem like a Spags prototypical defensive end. Are you surprised that they drafted him because he doesn't fit their typical mold?
No, but I think they're looking for juice. They've had sort of power rushers for a while. They've had guys that can be productive, that can chew up a lot of snaps, and it seemed like they were focusing on guys that have more of a twitched up speed presence on the outside. And I think our Mason Thomas is a perfect example of that. I think Peter Woods can do that on the interior as well. So, yeah, I feel like they were searching for an element that's been missing from this defensive line rather than younger versions of what they've had for a while.
Once you get outside of those top three selections, so talking about Delane, R. Mason Thomas, and Peter Woods, what did you make of the rest of their draft? They didn't really have a whole lot of assets after that. They traded some of those assets to go up to get Mansour Delane. What do you make of the rest of their draft?
Yeah, I think it was still pretty solid. Obviously, we were talking about day 3 picks. The chances of those guys making huge impacts are always pretty limited. But Cyrus Allen was a ton of people's favorite sleeper in this draft, a kind of smaller slot target who can be a deep field stretching type of receiver, and who was really impressive in that Cincinnati offense. Consistently impressed and was a real problem for DBs to try and cover. I think he's definitely got the ability to be a presence within this offense and find himself a little role. Nussmeier in the 7th round, obviously Kansas City's well set at quarterback with Patrick Mahomes, but I think Nussmeier's got a very high floor as a backup quarterback and was a lot of people's QB3 in this draft. Once you got beyond those top two guys of Mendoza and Ty Simpson in the first round, a lot of people thought Nussmeier could be or would be QB3, particularly coming into last season before he had a disappointing final season as well. So I think that's potentially a really nice backup quarterback pick in the 7th round. And then Emmett Johnson as well has got some ability as a running back, hard, charging, powerful running back that really almost like a Pacheco replacement in terms of a guy that runs with real intensity and kind of desire in the backfield.
Are you surprised that they took another running back given their offseason, given free agency?
No, because I think you can never have too many of those guys. Everybody operates with a backfield committee these days, almost everybody. You're always looking to get younger and cheaper at the running back position. You're always looking for contingency. And so, yeah, I never have a problem with any team throwing a day 3 pick at a running back just in case you add a really productive player for peanuts to your backfield.
Last thing here, Sam, we always appreciate your time. I've been asking our guests to give us one word that describes the Chiefs draft. I use the word refresh. It is very clear to me that the Chiefs kind of wanted to start over on defense. They also want to be a team that's more committed to running the football. And as you are now heading into the second half of Patrick Mahomes' career, they just want to have more things. I use the word refresh. You evaluate this thing on a more analytical basis. What's a word you would use to describe their draft?
Yeah, I think that is a good word for it. The other word that would jump to mind, though, is juice. They're looking for a bit more impact, a bit more juice, a bit more, verve from those players that they brought in. Obviously, Delane is sort of filling a need and trying to replace what they had in Trent McDuffie and for a cheaper price. But Peter Woods is there to add a bit more dynamism and vibrancy to that defensive line. Same thing with R. Mason Thomas. You could say the same thing for Cyrus Allen as well at receiver, trying to add just a bit more juice to that receiving room. So I think overall that is a draft that is focused a little bit on that kind of impact.
That is our guy, Sam Munson, joining us on the show. He's with the 33rd team, taking a closer look at this year's NFL draft. Sam, great stuff, man. We'll catch up with you closer to when the season's about to get going.
Anytime. Take it easy.
Absolutely. That's Sam Munson joining us on the show today. I like that word, juice. I think this organization desperately needed more juice on the defensive front. As I've been saying through this whole process, they had to free themselves from the shackle of 3 to 5 defensive linemen. They were stuck in a Mike Pennell, Mike Dana. They were stuck in a Derek Noddy. They have been in that cycle for the last 3 or 4 years. They needed to start over. They're not going to shoot 100% from the field with these defensive linemen, but you fire a bunch of darts, you hit on a couple of them, and you keep restarting that process. I don't know why I never really thought about it this way, Rob, because it seems like a very obvious point. If you think about it, about half of your 53-man roster is offensive linemen, defensive linemen, and corners. And wide receivers. Like, you can just never take too many of those guys. So if you like a corner, develop them. If you like a defensive lineman, whether he's an interior or an edge, take them, develop them. Guys are going to get hurt. Guys are going to underperform. If you're constantly rotating out those positions and trying to find the right combination, more so than not, you're going to have a good draft strategy.
I like that word juice, and I'm in a very KU basketball state of mind right now because of yesterday. It kind of reminds me, and it didn't work for KU, but I think you'll understand the analogy. After KU was a 7 seed and they were bad, Hunter Dickinson, DeJuan Harris, that group gets washed out. What was the one thing KU fans wanted? Dogs. Now, again, it didn't work out well. They were a 4 seed. We know how it ended. That's kind of how I feel about the Chiefs offseason. They washed out the old. No offense to Mike Dana. No offense to Mike Pennell. No offense to Derek Noddy. These guys were not looking forward at their best years. Their best years were in their rearview mirror. Charles Minahu's best football is not on the horizon. It is very much in, the background of his life. So you know what? They need more dogs. They need more guys who, hey, maybe in the right now, they're to step back, but the future is bright. And that's what they did. They went out and got R. Mason Thomas. Who do I think in year one, he's going to be the best pass rusher in the NFL? No. But do I think it's an upgrade over Mike Dana long term? Absolutely. So I think the KU dog analogy was rang in my mind as the Chiefs offseason came from a refresh.
And, it's not just juice on the defensive line. It's juice in the running game as well. They didn't have a whole lot of juice. But then you look at it. Last year, your leading rusher was Kareem Hunt with 611 yards. Your number 2 running back had 462 yards. You're expecting to get that contribution from one running back this year with Kenneth Walker. Like, you're expecting him to be a 1,000 to 1,200 yard kind of player. So you're expecting him to give you the production you got from 2 guys last year. You're expecting to get that, then sprinkle in all the other options that you have at the position. Looking to the defensive side, keeping the theme of juice. The next defensive lineman with 5 maybe from R. Mason together like that, you give yourself a much better situation. I like that word juice. They needed juice in the running game. They certainly electrified that. And then you needed something. You need a breath of fresh air on that defensive line. And that is the direction that they have gone. Coming up at the top of the hour, Rob today brought to me a running back stat. I know, it blows my mind too. I will share it with you coming up in a bit. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison and Rob Brenton.
You losers! It's what you are!
On your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
This summer, Casey's has 89-cent medium fountain and new Frostbite by Casey's drinks. But if you don't have 89 cents, you could check your center console, dig between your couch cushions, ask Grandma for $1, or just use your credit card. 89-cent medium Frostbite by Casey's or fountain drinks at Casey's all summer long. Restrictions may apply. See store for details.
Dispatch, this is Mindy at CM Mo's and Sons.
Well, boy, it's getting hot out there. Now, if your AC is making funny noises, just needs a once-over, or your home isn't as cool as it used to be, visit cmmosandsons.com. CM Mo's and Sons. License 202919.
Hello, Kansas City. Bank of America, in partnership with Visa, invites you to a FIFA World Cup 26 watch party. Open an eligible Bank of America checking account in participating financial centers only for an opportunity to reserve 2 complimentary tickets while supplies last. Experience special musical guests, games, giveaways, food, and more, all at a legendary venue. Learn more at BofA.com/BofA Visa Watch Party. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 26. Bank of America, N.A. member FDIC. Terms apply. All rights reserved.
DQ presents
The $7 meal deal, a delicious meal serving up serious value. We're talking 100% white meat, seasoned chicken strips, full-size fries, a drink, and of course, a classic DQ sundae. Because come on, no meal is complete without a sweet treat. All for just $7. And now you can try it with the new honey sriracha dip. The DQ $7 meal deal, a satisfying meal full of big flavor for great value. DQ, happy tastes good.
Getting a little older doesn't have to mean, well, getting older. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're feeling low energy, can't sleep, can't lose weight, are struggling with brain fog, or your sex drive is off, it's time to change it up. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical strategies featuring TRT, GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more treat low T and other hormonal issues to help you shed pounds, have more energy, enhance your body composition, improve sleep, increase your sex drive, and so much more. Getting you back in the game again. So don't be older. Be stronger in the gym. Be sharper at work. Be better in the bedroom and be more confident in every part of your life. So call us today and find out how our advanced treatment strategies could change the game for you. Your first visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on one of our advanced treatment plans on the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Feature therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you own a business, you've heard it all. From fast funding to easy approvals, everyone says the same thing. LendSeek is different. We show you what you actually qualify for. LendSeek's AI-enabled platform matches you with funding options with no guesswork. Up to $5 million in as fast as 24 hours. If you've been in business over a year, doing at least $50,000 per month, apply for free with zero out-of-pocket costs and access to over 100 lenders. Start ready, stay ready. LendSeek.com. LendSeek.com.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55-plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it. Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network.
$1 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of Essentials Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
This afternoon, expect mostly sunny skies with a high of 65.
Weather brought to you by Staples. Epic parties start at Staples. Now you can grab Party City balloons, decorations, and tableware, plus matching custom invites, banners, and more right at Staples. That was easy.
I want to play a very simple game. And I want to tell you where this game comes from. Yesterday, I went to Chipotle. And Chipotle didn't have any white rice. I walked out of that place about as quickly as I entered it. I asked the woman, I said, how long is it going to take? She said about 20 to 25 minutes. Maybe this wasn't the nicest thing to say, but I replied and said, it don't take that long to cook rice. And then I walked out. The brown rice at Chipotle is absolutely terrible. No, thank you. I'd rather just not eat it if that is an option. So, as I was walking back to my apartment, I passed Pickleman's. I stopped and I got a sandwich at Pickleman's. And Rob, you know that there is, a row of chips there where you can make a decision on what you want to get. You know what? I was feeling a little frisky. I got myself the barbecue chips. So, Rob, I want to play a quick game here. If you can turn the music back up, I want to play a real quick game of a Tender Tuesday. And it's been a while since we've done this. I want to do this with chip flavors just because I want to get a better idea of what you like and don't like. So the game is going to be very simple. You know how Tinder works. Swipe left if you don't like this flavor. Swipe right if you do like this flavor. The first chip I'm going to throw at you is a cheddar jalapeno. Are you swiping left and right on a cheddar jalapeno chip?
You're going to be hard-pressed to give me some lefts here. I'm swiping right here. I like cheddar. I like the jalapeno. I like a little heat in my chips. If it's kettle cooked, I'm super in. So I'm a swipe right on a cheddar jalapeno. I don't mind a nice little spice in my chip as much as some other people do.
Sour cream and onion. Are you swiping left and right on a nice bag of some Lay's or Ruffles sour cream and onion?
It is not my top chip, but if I'm out and someone's like, hey, you're at a party or something, they have sour cream and onion, I like it. I'm going to swipe left because it's not, creme de la creme, but if it's available, I would eat some, but not my favorite. So I guess a left, but more like indifference.
Sour cream and onion is the last resort to me. You know those big bags, those like family bags that you would get, if you're like, your kids are going on a field trip, you just get like an assortment of chips and it comes with, there's Doritos in there, there's Sun Chips, there's all these different kinds. Sour cream and onion are the last ones to get eaten.
Sun Chips. Sun Chips are the last one to get eaten.
Let's move on. You already said some wild, flagrant, out-of-pocket things when you mentioned the cheddar jalapeno. Now you're disrespecting Sun Chips? I'll take any flavor of Sun Chips. I'll take the original. I'll take the garden onion. The cheddar, that's an elite chip. Here you got your Adidas hoodie on that was given to you by Curtis Townsend, but we're not disrespecting Sun Chips, not when I'm around.
I mean, they're not great.
Do that when Lance is here on Friday. Don't do that when I'm here. Don't disrespect Sun Chips when I'm around.
Sun Chips are fine. I mean, no one has ever sought out a Sun Chip. So they're always the last one available at the company kitchen. There's a reason for that.
Moving on in our chip flavor on a Tender Tuesday, are you swiping left or right on salt and vinegar?
Ooh, I'm a left. I don't like the vinegar part. Like the salt part, fine. I mean, that's the regular chips. But I don't like the taste of vinegar. Like, it's not for me. So, like, I see, like, the Miss Vicky's at the grocery store or at, like, a Good Sense or something. I'm a pass on that. I'm a no on sea salt and vinegar.
I'm swiping left on every flavor that we have said so far. I'm saying a no. Now, salt and vinegar, they are my favorite before any of the ones that we have mentioned. But salt and vinegar, it's a no for me. No, thank you.
It's the vinegar, right? The vinegar is
it's all of it.
Okay.
There's better chip options out there. I mean, I'll eat it as a last resort, but if it's there on the rack, I'm very rarely, there's no reason for me to pick up the salt and vinegar. Rob, where are you at on a dill pickle? Are you getting the dill pickle Lay's if that is available?
I am not personally. They're in my house right now because my wife loves that flavor of chip, which is just crazy to me. But no, I don't. Pickle flavored stuff is just not for me. No, left.
Last one here. Now, I had never heard of this before. All of these other ones I'd heard of before. I did not know that under the Lay's flavor umbrella, they have a creamy garlic Caesar. Or would you be interested in a creamy garlic Caesar Lay's potato chip?
I can safely say I've never had that, so it's hard for me to give a real strong opinion.
I don't even know
here.
if I've seen that on the board before, but I am intrigued.
I'm a right strictly by fascination, but I don't know I've ever had it to give an opinion on it. But if you brought that in, I would try it. I don't know I'd like it, but I would definitely try it.
What's your favorite flavor of Lay's barbecue? Because to me, the undisputed heavyweight champion is their honey barbecue. Now, I love the Lay's, but that's a different family. But if you were saying the OG, the original Lay's, that honey barbecue, absolutely delicious.
I actually think like the regular Lay's, like you're putting that in a different category. Looking for like flavor.
Yeah, those are different, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, probably the barbecue's number one of the Lay's family. I think, yeah, that's probably number one.
This might be a weird question.
I like the kettle cooked too, but I don't know if that's a separate category.
This might be a weird question to ask you, but I think there is a chip that might be two Americas. I'm going to tell you the chip. Those flavor twist, the Fritos flavor twist, huge fan. You want to know also is very popular on My America? Chili cheese Fritos. Very, very popular. I don't know why. I have no clue. I do not know the genesis, the origin of this, but I'm telling you, two chips that will ring out in the black community. Chili cheese Fritos and those little flavor twists. Very delicious.
Have you had, this is unrelated to Americas, have you had the Zappos Voodoo Chips? Those,
I have had those before.
I'm a big fan of those. They're a little harder to find. They're not as readily available.
The weird thing is I've never like had them at home. I've only had them if you're like out and you got a sandwich and then that's just the offering. But I've never like had them in a home setting before.
I've never seen them in a big bag. They only come in the travel
I don't even know if they come in the
size.
big bag or not. No clue if they come in the big bag. None at all if that's the case.
It's an airport chip, but every time I see it, I'm like, oh, I got to get that one.
100%. Coming up at the top of the hour, you will not believe this, but Rob looked up a running back stat today. It blows my mind that is the case. I want to play this audio for you guys because we are growing. And when I say we, I mean the Cam Jordan to Chiefs fan club. We got Kay Adams on board. Listen to this.
I've just done a lot of thinking about this. We spoke to a lot of people about this, and I want to make my case here that he does, in fact, need to be a Kansas City Chief. Big year last year. I don't know what we're doing. 10.5 sacks for Cam. I think the Chiefs, they can reach at an edge. I don't know why not. I know you drafted Mason Thomas in the second round, but you can't have too many of these, especially if you want to get back to greatness and win a Super Bowl. I hope that Spytek isn't listening to this as we give love to the Chiefs and hope that they do well and bid them, want them to be competitive next year. That AFC West is nuts. I'd like to see it for Cam. Saints fans are a different breed because I think that they are understanding of where they are. They're going to win. They're going to contend. They've got a winnable division down there. But I don't know if you're getting to a Super Bowl while Cam is still playing. You're making all the right moves, most explosive weaponry in the NFL maybe on offense. I love what the Saints got going on. But I would like to see him get a ring before he hangs it up. I think he's coming back to play, and I'd like it to be, if it was the Saints, like I don't know what's holding that up, who's waiting, what the deal is, whatever. But if Cam's on the, if you're on the fence, if you get an offer from Kansas City, please take it.
You know what? I'm so happy that this is starting to become more of a popular opinion because I remember standing here a couple of months ago and I felt like I was standing alone on Cam Jordan in Kansas City. But you know what? Just over time, you start to see the logic in all of it. And you start to look out and you start to survey your defensive line and you're looking at FAU and you're looking at Ashton Gillotte and you're looking at these guys and Cam Jordan's just sitting there, You know he's going to sign with some contender. He's either going back home to New Orleans, which you wouldn't be mad. He wants to stay in one uniform his whole career. But I don't want Cam Jordan to go to the Chargers. I don't want Cam Jordan to go to the Buffalo Bills or the Ravens. I don't want him to go to one of those kind of teams. If you're going to sign with a contending type team, you might as well sign with Kansas City. I'm so happy that we are picking up more people on the Cam Jordan to Kansas City bandwagon. There's still time. I don't want you to think that the train has already departed from the station. No, there's nothing but room here. Come on, all aboard. Let's get on this. They better not give us availability with Brett V. That's the first thing I'm going to ask them. Are you guys planning on reaching out to Cam Jordan? Coming up at the top of the hour, this is maybe the first of its time. Rob looked up a running back stat. He had the idea, looked it up, and then handed me the sheet of paper with the information. This has never happened before. Rob and I have been working together since COVID. 6 years Rob has been here. Dear friend, my brother, he has never on his own volition looked up a running back stat without me having to tell him. He did that today. I have to share it with you. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan. When severe weather hits, tune in to 98.1 KMBZ for Operation Stormwatch. Brought to you by Century Roofing. Proudly voted the #1 roofing company in all of Kansas City. CenturyRoofingKC.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back?
back. If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PROMO25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PROMO25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code PROMO25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Hey, it's Rex here with Rex Buys KC. I get it. Selling your house can sometimes feel overwhelming or scary, right? I've seen it too many times. A homeowner thought they had a deal, only to have the buyer back out at the last minute. That's not how we do business at Rex Buys KC. I'm local, I know Kansas City, and I make sure every deal actually closes like it's supposed to. No hidden fees, no showings, no last-minute surprises, just a fair cash offer and a process you can count on. We buy homes in any condition and judgment-free. So whether your house needs repairs or you just want a fast, hassle-free sale, we can make it happen. If you want certainty, transparency, and someone local who actually delivers, call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time. 816-330-6000 or rexbuyskc.com.
Hi, I'm John Ray, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. Getting engaged? So friends, listen up. Shane Company engagement rings are protected with our all-inclusive free lifetime warranty. We stand behind the same quality we've offered since 1929. Our rings are crafted to last. It's why our warranty is the only one that protects your center stone. We also cover repairs, resizings, cleanings, and so much more. That's money you keep for you and your family. Because a friend always has your back. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
At Liberty Mutual, we love helping people with things like customizing car insurance, just like how we customize a song for you. Catered country tune. Liberty Mutual, saving you bucks by protecting your truck. 'Cause Birdie told me to only pay for what I need. Thank you, Limu. I'll always trust in Limu with Liberty, 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 Liberty.
There's nothing like the sound of Royals baseball. When the boys in blue take the field, loyal fans tune in, turn it up, and stay connected. And where do Kansas City's most passionate sports fans gather? Right here on 96.5 The Fan. Sports fans are loyal fans. They support the teams they love and the businesses that support their team. If you're ready to grow your business and connect with a dedicated, engaged audience, call 816-522-0444 or email greg.bergen@odyssey.com. That's greg.bergen@odyssey.com.
Save $2 when you buy 2 cans of Superior Products Coverall Tire Dressing. Plus, get 4 times O Rewards points now at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
For 75 years, Kansas City families have trusted Anthony for comfort, safety, and dependable service. Thank you for trusting us with your house keys. Anthony, in your home for 75 years.
Hey Royals fans, it's Seth Lugo. Don't miss Vern's On Deck show 1 hour before first pitch right here on 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Let me take you guys behind the scenes. So I left to go get lunch. I came back. And usually when I am eating, I'm normally listening to a YouTube video or a podcast, and it's just kind of my 20 minutes that even though Rob is there, it's kind of the 20 minutes to myself. So I am sitting there and I am listening to Nick Wright talk to Colin Cowherd. He was on his show, and they're talking about the Chiefs draft, and they're talking about all these other things. Well, in the course of the conversation, Nick tells Colin Cowherd that Patrick Mahomes has never had a 1,000-yard running back. And I don't know if Rob heard me go, interesting. I was just talking to myself. I wasn't talking to Rob. I just, interesting. Next thing I know, I finish eating, I throw my food away, and I'm writing stuff down. And, Rob and I are preparing to talk. Next thing I know, Rob leaves the room. Don't know why Rob left the room, but it's okay. I'm not checking up on him. He comes back with the sheet of paper and hands me the sheet of paper. And he says, I know you were going to want me to look this up, so I just did it anyway. So listen to this. I'm telling you, it blows my mind that this happened. Rob looked up every projected starter in the National Football League, and if they had played with a 1,000-yard rusher in a season that they had started. So I hope that that's not confusing. So, for example, Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts had Saquon Barkley, so that would be a yes. So he went down for every quarterback, and did they have a 1,000-yard rusher while they were a starting quarterback? Well, you know what? Rob came away with this stat. I'm happy for. Maybe we are changing Rob's mind. Did you know that Patrick Mahomes has never played with a 1,000-yard running back? In fact, there are 6 other running backs or quarterbacks that would fit this same criteria. 5 of them have less than 2 years of experience. So, for example, Bo Nix has never had a 1,000-yard running back. He's only played 2 years. Drake May has never had a 1,000-yard running back. Only played 2 years. Tyler Shuck has never had one. Also, only played 1 year. Jackson Dart, the exact same way. Jaden Daniels. The only other veteran quarterback to be in the same situation as Patrick Mahomes, where they have never given him a 1,000-yard running back, is Justin Herbert. A team who last year spent a first-round pick on a running back, albeit he got injured last year. Rob, I will kick it to you first. You have to feel some way about this, and it continues to further the point that I've been making over the last couple of years, that the Chiefs were asking Mahomes to do something that very few teams are asking their starting quarterback to do. You don't need the best running back in the National Football League. They haven't given him a Rico Dowdle. They haven't given him a Javonte Williams. They haven't given him a running back that you feel can run for 270 carries, 1,100 yards, and 6 touchdowns. That's a basic standard. All these other quarterbacks, Jared Goff, Jordan Love, C.J. Stroud, Daniel Jones, Trevor Lawrence, we can go up and down the list. At this stage in your career, you accidentally get a quarterback with the 1,000-yard running back. The fact that that hasn't happened once in Patrick Mahomes' career, despite how dynamic they have been on offense, is more of a who they have gotten out and drafted, and that they have spent so few resources outside of Clyde Edwards-Helaire trying to run the football effectively. I am so happy. I am so thrilled because that's who they've given Patrick Mahomes this year. You know how much easier that can make things? Instead of trying to ask Patrick Mahomes, can you elevate a guy like Byron Pringle? Can you elevate these kind of receivers and get them to be 1,000-yard weapons? No, it's now turn around and hand the ball off 245 times to Kenneth Walker. Give DeMarcado his 75 carries. Use Emmett Johnson in the screen game. You do not know how happy it is that you would believe that we can take Patrick Mahomes off this list at the end of the season. They have finally given him a 1,000-yard rusher. There's a chance this year that he has a 1,000-yard rusher, a 1,000-yard receiver in Rashee Rice, and there also is a chance then Travis Kelce has, 800 yards receiving? You then give Travis Kelce's 800. Let's say you get 700 from Xavier Worthy. We can then figure out how to divvy up the rest of the offensive yards. That is such a step forward in offense that just by them running the football more effectively, it gives them a chance to be a top 10 offense this year.
I walked away from pulling this stat more impressed with Patrick Mahomes. Now, there have been, I understand the conversation. I get it. But it's not like the Chiefs have always been the 2025 Chiefs when it comes to running the ball. Some of those Patrick Mahomes years had good running games. Damian Williams, I know we rag on him now. he was a productive running back when they won the Super Bowl. Clyde Edwards-Helaire in 2020, before his body basically broke down, was an 800, 900-yard back. That's productive. They got to the Super Bowl. Isaiah Pacheco, his rookie year, was a 900-yard back before he eventually started tail spinning. Like, they have been productive at running back, but the stat that Patrick Mahomes has never had a 1,000-yard rusher as a starter in the league absolutely boggles my mind. Also, because I pulled this stat earlier, it's worth noting, the people in the text line, Patrick Mahomes was not the starter of the year Kareem Hunt did
a lot of people are making the Kareem Hunt. No, we are talking about with Mahomes as a starter. In 2017, Patrick Mahomes is not the starter. Alex Smith is the starter in 2017. Mahomes then takes over in 2018. That ends up being the case. Now, I think Kareem Hunt was going to run for 1,000 yards that year, but you remember, Kareem Hunt got kicked off the team because of him kicking that young woman in the hotel. So no, with Patrick Mahomes as a starter, at the end of the season, they have never had a running back that had a comma in their production. They have gotten guys who have come close to it. Isaiah Pacheco had 930 yards his second year in the league, but they have never had a 1,000-yard running back. You could say outside of number one, you would say either Tyreek Hill or Travis Kelce, whomever you consider the best option that he's ever had. The other person is number two. Kenneth Walker is the third best skill position player and the best skill position player that they have had this side of Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. That is a massive, massive difference.
I still will always contend that I think they overpaid for Kenneth Walker, but it's clear that, and we talked about a lot with Brett Veach, it was the, well, you want to call it overcorrection, overhaul, whatever. The way he viewed O-line after the Bucs Super Bowl is how he viewed running back after this season. It was clear that he felt like if they had just any viability back there, they felt better about what they were doing. And Isaiah Pacheco was a fine running back. I think for his draft position, he was a win by the Chiefs. Like all those things. But they have clearly targeted, we need more from that position. I still think they overpaid, but it is a clear talent improvement with Kenneth Walker.
You guys just don't understand how happy this makes me. It really does. It makes me so happy that they have invested in this way. They have invested a first-round pick in a wide receiver. They have invested a second-round pick in a wide receiver. They have invested $10 to $12 million in a tight end. They have invested significant money into improving their running game and their offensive line. There is absolutely no reason why the Chiefs should not be a top 10 offense in the league other than there is a significant step back with Patrick Mahomes. That's the only way I will live with them not being a top 10 offense. Sure, maybe there's some other injuries that happen, but if this offense is healthy, this should be a return to normal. Maybe it will not be 2018. Maybe Patrick Mahomes will not win MVP this year, but this should be a return to normal. The Chiefs should be one of the 10 best offenses in the National Football League because of the investments that they have made throughout their offense. They have invested in their offensive line. They've invested in the run game. They have invested in wide receivers. It is time to start seeing the fruits of all of that. They also were getting back to Eric Bieniemy when they were at their best offensively. There is absolutely no reason, absolutely no excuse for them not to be a top 10 offense in the league this year.
I am going to hold them to that standard. Period. Into discussion. Right. The only injury I will accept is Patrick Mahomes. But if the Chiefs offense ends up being 16 next year in the NFL, which is probably an improvement, but based on what they were last year, but they are middle of the pack. I don't want to hear about, well, Xavier Worthy missed 4 games. Well,
I agree.
Rashee Rice, it's hard to be a great offense when Travis Kelce 37. No. The expectations is you are back to normal. Kenneth Walker and Eric Bieniemy are going to be part of the return to glory. That is the expectation I'm holding them to. Not 12, but what if top 10 scoring offense in the NFL. And we've talked about a lot on this show. Their defense makes the defensive moves in the draft make you think they are a top 10 offense and they didn't really need to do anything else.
I mean, I understand the injuries happened at the end of the season, but just looking at where the Chiefs are, they are just so far removed from the top 10 last year. For them to be a top 10 offense, just based off last year, they need to score somewhere around 25 points per game. They were at 21 points per game this past season. So it seems like a small number, but that's a massive, massive jump this year. That puts you, if they can just get to 25, that puts them around what Chicago was last year offensively. That puts them around what San Francisco was. Now, there's still a gap between them and the top. I don't think anybody's expecting Kansas City to have the best offense in the NFL last year, But there is no reason why they cannot be in this Chicago Bears, San Francisco, Baltimore Ravens. They need to be somewhere in that range. This is a team that should be scoring somewhere between 24 and 27 points per game. We should look at them as one of the best offenses in the league. They have all the foundation to be able to get to that point. You have the offensive-minded head coach. You got the quarterback to do so. You have spent enough resources on your offense to be able to be there. I'm with you, Rob. That is the standard that I'm holding them to. I think that's a fair standard. This needs to be a top 10 offense in the National Football League this upcoming season, barring a setback where Mahomes misses the first 4 to 6 weeks of the season because of some complications with his ACL. But if you think Mahomes is playing for week 1, this offense needs to be very, very good next year. Coming up in about 20 minutes or so, we are going to be joined by Eric Bossy. He covers high school recruiting nationally for Rivals. We are going to get his thoughts on Tyran Stokes. He's seen him play multiple times. What kind of player, what kind of prospect is on his own. I did ask Rob to do this. I asked Rob to rank the one-and-dones at Kansas since Bill Self has been there. I do not know how he's ranked them. I'm very intrigued to see what he did. We'll do it next. Keep it right here, it's The Drive.
Your off-season home for everything Chiefs football.
Talking about the top story, the Chiefs, they have a new offensive coordinator.
96.5, The Fan.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
Whether you're looking for a Bronco, an Explorer, an F-150, or even a commercial vehicle, Robside Ford has the selection.
That's right, Kevin. We've got it all. And we've got the lowest prices in Kansas City. No gimmicks, just great deals on every new Ford.
And it's not just inventory, it's how you do business. Robside Ford makes it very simple.
We do it different on purpose. Non-commissioned sales team, upfront transparent pricing, top dollar trade-in values, and a process that's actually easy.
You've even got the reputation to back it up, Bobby. Kansas City's only top-rated Ford dealer on Google. 4.8 stars, 3,000 reviews. Wow.
And this year, we're proud to be voted Best Car Dealership in KC by Kansas City Magazine.
So if you're ready for a better car buying experience,
come see us at 135th and State Line or check us out at robsight.com.
From Broncos to F-150s to work trucks, Robside Ford has what you need.
If you want simple and easy, you're not going to find a better spot.
Robside Ford. Buy right. Drive happy.
Hey, it's Dusty Likens, and you know baseball's back. BetMGM, the official partner of Major League Baseball, is bringing the high heat all season long. All season long, you can log into the BetMGM app and receive top-tier promos that put you in the batter's box and up the excitement for America's pastime. Step up to the plate all season with Swing for the Fences, the free-to-play game where every swing could score you rewards. We're talking parlay boost tokens, odds boost tokens, same-game parlay boosts, and even bonus spins all season long. And the action doesn't stop there. Get more out of every at-bat and every inning with MLB same-game parlay boost. Stack your picks and boost your potential payout. Plus, lock in bigger value with MLB odds boost tokens and MLB parlay boost tokens all season long. More boosts, more swings, more chances to win. Download the BetMGM app and step up to the plate today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and older only. Missouri only. Existing customer offers subject to eligibility requirements. Please gamble responsibly.
There's a new kind of energy at Starbucks. When your day needs a reset, try the all-new energy refreshers. Strawberry acai, mango dragon fruit, or the all-new mango strawberry. The refreshers you love, now with extra caffeine. New energy refreshers only at Starbucks.
Staples has hundreds of ways to grow your business this spring, like spectacular signs, brilliant brochures, eye-popping posters, mouth-watering menus, and more. Shop now through June 13th and save up to $150 on all your custom prints. Staples, that was easy.
At Uline,
They know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hard-working partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Some days, self-care starts with Nature-Made gummy vitamins, a deep breath, and a little encouragement.
Mom, I'm really nervous.
Me too, honey, but we've got this. Repeat after me. I'm gonna have a good day.
I'm going to have a good day.
I choose joy no matter what comes my way.
I bring joy wherever I go.
Quality gummy vitamins from Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Royals coverage is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City.
Brought to you by Blue KC is the Coaches with Character program. Do you know a rock star high school coach in your district? Nominate them for the Blue KC Coaches with Character program at bluekc.com/nominate coaches with character. Let's make our coaches feel special and make our community a better place to live, work, and play.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
The countdown to the World Soccer Championship is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are, that's the benefit of blue. Visit bluekc.com/benefit of blue for more information. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
Got I see red, and that's expected from the crash. 35 southbound just past 67. Everybody needs to scoot to the left to get through here. It is the right lane blocked. And then 71 northbound, the ramp to 39th. We've got most of this wreck moved off to the right shoulder. Right lane still blocked. They're about to open everything up for you, but still big delay. 71 northbound past 39th. I'm bound with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
I want to ask you guys this question. I have gotten a sense that some of the sting, some of the backlash of the Chiefs drafting Mansour Delane has subsided. Rob, you remember on Twitter, I liked the pick, instantly got cooked on social media that I was in favor of the pick. On Friday, after the pick was made, I came on here and told you guys that I liked it. I would say that it was very, very split. I would say today, most people are on board. Let me ask you this, Rob, and then we'll talk a little Kansas basketball here. Do you think this stems from people learning more about Mansour Delane, or do you think this stems from people have just come to grips with maybe Ruben Bain wasn't the prospect that I was led to believe that he was? What do you think has really spurred this change of heart that I think people have had towards the Chiefs moving up to 6 over the last 4 or 5 days or so?
I think it's the fact that people are realizing how quality of a player Delane is. I think the more people we have like Sam Munson on, the more people we have like, draft experts like Daniel Jeremiah, the more people that talk highly about Delane, now the process falls, out of sight, out of mind for people. Yeah, we wanted a pass rusher. We were upset on Thursday night. Boo-hoo, I'm angry. But now it's a week later, 6 days later, and they've heard for 5 days about how great the player is, the Pat Surtain comparison. He's a blue-chip prospect in a non-blue chip draft. I think as people have learned more about him, they've changed their opinion. Because I don't think the average Chiefs fan knew about Delane heading in because they weren't viewing corner that way heading in.
Yeah, I also think this. Someone on the text line just sent this in. CDOT, it was never the player that was the issue. It was the trade part and that he would have been there at 9. I also don't know how you could feel this way days after with all of the information that we have. That's wrong. That's wrong. You might have had that opinion in real time, and I get it. But we have heard enough from Kansas City, and we also have heard enough from Washington and enough from New Orleans. Mansour Delane would not have been there at 9. Now, if your argument is this, if your argument is it is better for Kansas City to stay at 9 and take Caleb Downs than move up to go get Mansour Delane, I will listen to that argument, and ultimately time will tell on whether or not you are right or wrong. But if you hold the belief that the Chiefs just gave 2 picks away to the Giants that they didn't need to give or Cleveland to move up, if that is your belief, I'm sorry, that's not an opinion anymore. You're wrong. You are wrong if that is the case. We have too much information now for that. So maybe the 24 hours, that's what you were mad about. You cannot be mad about that anymore. If you were telling me that you like the player, he would not have been there at 9.
I also think, to piggyback off that, the fact that people are hearing that our Mason Thomas can be Nick Bonito has squelched a lot of their nerves too. Because on Thursday night, when we took this air on Friday, and when we left the Brooksider Thursday night last week, people felt like they don't have a pass rusher still. Fast forward a couple days, they feel like, oh, we found the athletic specimen. We found Nick Bonito. Nick Bonito went to Oklahoma. This guy went to Oklahoma. I feel like fans' thirst or appetite for pass rusher has subsided, which also changes their opinion on the pick.
Someone that's on the text line says people are starting to realize that Washington or New Orleans were going to draft the kid. I think that's part of it too. But I also think, and maybe this is just learning more about the player, I think that you guys are starting to get more excited about him. Where you remember in the first 24 hours, a lot of people were mad at the process and why would you trade a corner away to go get this corner? I think a lot of people are starting to come to the side of, hey, this guy has a chance to be a very, very good player in the National Football League. I made this point earlier to Sam Munson. I'll make it again here. I think the Chiefs had this clear plan in mind. We are not willing to roll the dice with the top 10 pick. Ruben Bain is rolling the dice. We now know that now. That's rolling the dice. I would argue that Caleb Downs is rolling the dice, just given he is not an athletic freak, also given the position that he plays, even though I think he's a good football player. They went with, at the time, the safest possible move to me. Also, while getting the most position of value there as well. They went up in the draft to go get the absolute best corner. We talked to Sam Munson. He said that his tape, Delane, reminds him of Patrick Surtain.
He's not as big as Patrick Surtain, but I think he plays the game in a very similar way. Like, they have this incredible level of patience where, they're not necessarily going to get super physical and aggressive and jam corners or jam receivers at the line, but they stay incredibly patient. It's very difficult to beat them with your release, with your route running at the stem, and over the top. Like, they don't get beaten on double moves either. So he does remind me a lot of Surtain, albeit with a slightly different body shape and size.
So that is Sam Munson. We had Matt Verderam, who said that Delane is a no red flag kind of player.
I will say this. The hit rate on top 10 corners is tremendous. There are no red flags. That guy can play every position. I wrote about him before the draft. He was a top 5 player in the draft for me. I thought he was up there with Love, Reese, Bailey. I actually thought they were going to take Bain when they moved up, but I think that Delane's a cleaner prospect. So I don't have the concern that you do with Bain with the arms, whether or not that's something that's important. We'll see.
I mean, I think now that the dust is settled, I think it is safe to come to this conclusion. There were 5 players that realistically you could have got there. You could have got Downs. You could have got Delane. That's who they drafted. You could have got Downs, Bain, Tyson, or Fano. If you were willing to move up like the Chiefs are willing to move up. And they made their decision, they got Delane. Downs comes with some positional value. I also think Delane is a better NFL prospect. He maybe wasn't the college player. He is a better NFL prospect than Caleb Downs was. Bain's red flags, we've gone over them. The arm length thing. Jordan Tyson was hurt for basically his entire college football career. Spencer Fano, they weren't going to draft an offensive line. They've come out and said they were playing the draft people this whole time, making you think they could go offensive line where they weren't going to go offensive line. This was the right decision and the right pick for them to make. So I'm happy. I'm happy that everybody seems to be on the same side with this. I felt like I was standing alone by myself on Friday. I'm happy to look around and everybody is here as a Mansour Delane truther. It feels good.
Can I say, I don't want to deviate from the point here. Can we wait to say the Chiefs are right? I'm not saying that they were wrong. I think the jury is very much still out. Like,
he has to be able to play 100%.
He has to be able to play, and those other guys have to be worse at their positions than he is at his. It's not a true 1-for-1, like how good a Jordan Tyson is at wide receiver versus how Mansour Delane is at cornerback. I understand we can't judge those two positions 1 versus 1, but cherry picking another example, the Chiefs took the best running back available in 2020. In hindsight, they should have taken T. Higgins or Michael Pittman. Like, we know we know now what the mistake was. At the time, it was top running back. Look how exciting this is. Da 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 da. Let's wait before we say the Chiefs made the right decision. If Jordan Tyson is a star, excuse me, and Monster Delane is just Trent McDuffie, then they probably made the wrong call. If Spencer Fano turns into Orlando Pace and Monster Delane is just Jalen Watson at corner, a good player but not a great corner, they made the wrong decision. I understand your point. I'm just way more the jury is out before I'm saying they made the right call getting Delane before he ever even puts on a Chiefs jersey in OTA minicamp, whatever those little things they have coming up are.
Coming up in just a little bit, we're going to be joined by Eric Bossy. He is the national basketball recruiter for 24/7 Sports. He has seen Tyran Stokes play. We'll get his thoughts on the kind of player and prospect that he is. Kansas once again gets the #1 overall high school basketball recruit. Before we get there, I gave Rob one responsibility today. Just one. I told Rob to look up all of the one and dones during the Bill Self era, and I wanted him to give us his list, how he would rank them. I do not know the order of this, but I am very intrigued. Now, I will say, I can go ahead and say this now before we get to the list. We agreed to not include Ben McLemore for this reason. Ben McLemore was not a true freshman. All of these players that are on your list, I believe, are true freshmen. So Ben McLemore, I think, was the best. If we're talking about a guy who just played one season at Kansas, I think that Ben McLemore is the best player that they've had during this run. But he was on campus, didn't qualify academically, stayed around for his second year, had a phenomenal season, and then went to the NBA. He is not a true one-and-done since that you would say Joel Embiid or Darren Peterson. So I just want to give that caveat so no one's asking, well, I just gave you the answer. That's why Ben McLemore is not there. All right, Rob, this is on you. Take it away.
All right, let's go 10 through 5 real quick because these are forgettable players.
Who was on the outside looking in? Who didn't make the list?
There's only 10 that we pulled.
Okay, all right. I'm making sure.
10.
I didn't know if there was somebody I couldn't remember.
There was not some, maybe there was and I've just forgotten them, but this was 10 through, let's go 10 through 7 because I think these are kind of all forgettable players.
One and done list for Kansas. All right, number 10 on the list.
Cliff Alexander. A lot of hype, all sizzle, no steak. Number 9, Check Diallo, kind of the same. They're both all sizzle, no steak. Diallo, I believe, ended up being a lottery pick, so I put him a little higher. But he ended up
playing more in the NBA than I thought he was going to play. Check Diallo.
They both had problems academically getting eligible. Those are 9 and 8, not 10 and 9. Number 8, Josh Selby. Josh Selby was all hype, and then was a come off the bench guy his 1 year at Kansas.
The three most hype players of my adult life following Kansas were Wiggins, Darren Peterson, and Josh Selby.
Selby was high.
The Selby one was ridiculous. Remember, Selby didn't play, his first 10 games. He then came in. I think they were playing USC in a home game. He balled out in that game.
Hit a game winner.
And then
that's the highlight.
That was the height of it.
Number 7, Kelly Oubre. He was a good player at Kansas. He just didn't have a moment.
This is an uninspiring list.
There was something about Kelly Oubre's time at Kansas where you're like, there was that.
Kelly Oubre wouldn't be top 25 at Kentucky. One and done. He's 7th on this list. Goodness gracious.
Number 6, Darren Peterson. I still believe he's the most talented player Bill Self's recruited. He just was hurt.
He didn't make your top 5?
He did not make my top 5.
Hold on, let's turn the music down. Hold on. You were telling me after we could go back and I can find all the hype. You said, what was it you said? All sizzle, no steak? You were telling me that you don't even have Darren Peterson as one of the 5 best one and dones in the Self era. You told me he was going to be Kobe. You told me that he was going to be the Black Mamba.
He has Sammy Watkins limbs. Who knew?
Okay, my bad. This is your moment. My bad. I apologize. So you have it number 10. So we're going one and done, true freshman year. You have number 10, Cliff Alexander. Number 9, Check Diallo. Number 8, Josh Selby. Number 7, Kelly Oubre. Number 6, Darren Peterson. All right, these are top 5 one and dones of the Bill Self era.
Number 5, Xavier Henry. Xavier Henry was a really good player.
He was cool.
He gets dinged on my list. His 1 year, he was the 3rd option on the team. That was Sharon's senior year, Cole's final season. No one was asking him to be special.
I agree.
Number 4, Grady Dick. Grady Dick, another really good basketball player, not the top option as a freshman. So nothing but respect for him. He's actually carved out a little bit of a path in the league.
For sure.
He's number 4. Number 3, Andrew Wiggins. KU fans are polarizing about Wiggins. Wiggins, when he was playing and on the court and actually playing basketball, was a dog. But
It's a theme, it sounds like, for Kansas City's one and dones when he's on the court.
But you know what? We were told he had a killer instinct. He didn't. The team underperformed. And remember, he was called Maple Jordan. He was not Maple Jordan. Number 2, Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is kind of a basketball what if at Kansas because he got hurt and he did not play in the NCAA tournament. And we now know why. His body just betrayed him. But he was a great basketball player at Kansas. And number 1 is Josh Jackson. Josh Jackson was exceptional. He was first team All Big 12, All Big 12 freshman. He won Freshman of the Year in the league. Josh Jackson is the best one and done Kansas has had.
Okay. This might be a little bit of hate while you call up our dear friend Eric Bossy. Text line 913-586-7965. Now, Kansas has obviously they have done phenomenal when it comes to recruiting. They're Kansas, right? I mean, look at these guys. NBA players, an MVP is on this list. They have done an exceptional job. The best one and done they've gotten in the last 15 years is Josh Jackson. It's the best one and done. I mean, we're not talking about a very high bar here for Tyran Stokes, in my opinion. We're not talking about this. I mean, he ain't Cam Boozer. That's not the best one and done you've had. It's not John Wall or Anthony Davis or one of those guys. Rob, you're telling me over the last 15 years, the best one and done you think Kansas has had is Josh Jackson? This is not a very high bar for Tyran Stokes to clear if he is what people think he can be. He will be a preseason All-American, no question. If he can be a first-team All-Big 12 guy, if he can be a first- or second-team All-American, by default, he'll be the best one and done that KU's had in the Bill Self era.
It has been a little bit uninspiring, but I also think one thing you'll notice about this list, there's a lot of times where it's like I dinged a guy for not being the top prospect. Like Xavier Henry had a really good college career. He was the third option on a team. That's not going to be what Tyran Stokes is when his time comes at Kansas.
Let's go to the phone lines here, and let's be joined by Eric Bossy. He is the national college high school basketball analyst for 24/7 Sports. He's been doing this for a very long time, so there is no better person to evaluate Tyran Stokes than our next guest, Eric Bossy. Eric, man, happy to have you on the show today.
Hey, how's it going? I'm just trying to get over a list that has Xavier Henry over Darren Peterson among best KU one and dones of all time. That's pretty mind-blowing to me.
Where would you have Darren Peterson on this list if we were evaluating what they did at Kansas?
I think the top 3 would be Jackson, Wiggins, and him, on whatever order you want to put them in. You know, Joel Embiid, I think, was also injured as well and was coming on, so he could be in the argument, but I think Peterson's got to be top 3.
All right, so we're happy to have you on the show today to break down Tyran Stokes. I've not seen the kid play. Rob has not seen the kid play. I've just seen highlights of him. You have seen him play. Describe his game for us.
Tyran is a big, strong, and skilled wing who could even play a little bit of small ball power forward for you if you need him to. He's athletic in the sense of how well he moves at his size, and he's explosive and powerful, but he's not like a true high flyer in that sense. What will really stand out to people as they get to see him play more is he's actually got a pretty off-the-charts feel for the game. He's a very, very high-level passer. When he's got his mean streak going, he's a bully to the rim. Just a really good all-around player who physically is ready for the Big 12 and for, the top level of college basketball, and pretty much has everything in his bag.
How would you rate him? How would you compare him to the prospects in this year's freshman class? Because, this year's freshman class is phenomenal. I think the first 10 to 12 picks are going to be all freshmen that played last year. Where do you think Stokes would fit into that mix if he was in last year's class?
Yeah, that's a great hypothetical that we asked all the time, and I think something that's important to understand is that the class of 2026 that Tyran is coming out is not near as deep, not near as strong as that class of 2025 was. But last year, around this time, there was some speculation that Tyran could reclassify and end up in 2025. And I think if he had done that, he probably would have been a top 5-ish prospect. Now, it's a little harder now because those guys have all gone on and played, and you go, well, wow, if he's a top 5 prospect from that class, he's going to be ridiculous, right? But I think for the most part, number one type players have proven to be pretty good players in college basketball right out of the box. And he certainly, of anyone in the 2026 class, has the highest ceiling.
You know, we love a player comparison. When you watch Stokes play, is there a player that he reminds you of?
Yeah, I get asked all the time. You know, early on, I saw a lot of kind of a Miles Bridges kind of guy in him, you know, power wing that can do some things. Some people said there's a little bit of Zion Williamson in him. I don't see that one quite as much. I was laughing at the ESPN broadcaster's commitment last night. They compared him to Charles Barkley some, which is a pretty wild one. But if you think in terms of a guy who can grab it off the rim and go bully his way down the floor, you can see a little bit of that. He's just got a lot of different guys in his game. And, you know, the one I'm having trouble with is finding a good comparison for him just because of the way he passes the ball from his position.
Right now, we're talking to Eric Bossy. He is with 24/7 Sports. He is the national high school recruiting. Talking to him about Kansas, who just got the number one overall recruit. Are you considering Stokes to be the favorite to be the number one overall pick in next year's NBA draft?
Yeah, I would think he is right now, unless there's some guy in Europe that we don't know about yet. We got to count that. But of kids going from high school to the NBA, he would be the favorite. I mean, from high school to college next year, he would certainly be the favorite, and I think most NBA guys would agree with that.
Let's talk about the rest of Kansas's class. I mean, I think you have to put them right now at number one. They have the best high school basketball class. Obviously, Stokes is going to be the crown jewel of it. He's the number one player. What do you make of their high school recruiting class?
It's a good one. I think we have the composite ranking of them, which takes into account everyone has them as the number two class right now, just slightly behind what John Calipari is doing at Arkansas, but it's like a razor-thin edge. I think the other guy that everyone's going to look at is Tyran Kinney, who's going to come in and be ready to play instant minutes right away at the point guard, McDonald's All-American, who is originally from Kentucky himself. It's interesting that the two best players in the Kansas class are Kentucky natives, but Talen's been at the overtime elite deal in Atlanta for the last couple of years. Those are the two guys who I think are really ready to step in and play big minutes. Davion Adkins is a big who's athletic and bouncy. Probably needs to get a little bit stronger and develop his offensive game a little bit more, but he can be kind of like a third big. And then Trent Perry is an athletic guy, but kind of a hustle guy who's going to be more towards the back of the lineup. And Luke Barnett from California is a big-time shooter, but another guy who's going to, need a little bit of time. Those are the high school kids. But I think the two other guys that are really most important in this class are Leroy Blyden, the Toledo transfer, who's going to come in and split time at the point with Tyran Kinney. They both kind of play the one and the two. Either one would take the ball and start an offense. And then Keanu Dawes, the 6'9" power forward that they're getting out of Utah, who is a potential double-double type of guy. I think you're looking at Kinney, Blyden, Stokes, Dawes, and then the big kid they're getting, Christian Reeves. All five new guys are probably going to project to be their starting lineup, and none of those guys were here, which is, kind of how college basketball is these days.
I'll get you out of here with this. Since I've known you, you've been so primarily focused on high school basketball. I feel like your job is now expanded with the transfer portal, and you watch so many of these kids, and then 12 months later, they're back in the portal, and they're looking for a new fix. What do you think KU needs to find in the portal to round out their roster?
I think really in an ideal world, they could get two more players. Another big, I think, who can provide them some experience and maybe be able to swing between the 4 and the 5 for them to give them a little bit more versatility up front. And then just a shooter to come off the bench, whether it be a 2 or a 3. I think we know that shooting has proven to be a downfall these last couple of years. So another guy that could come in and make some deep shots would be ideal.
That is our guy, Eric Bossy, joining us on the show today. He is with 24/7 Sports. He covers high school basketball. There is no better person to talk about high school prospects than our guest, Eric Bossy, to talk about Tyran Stokes. He's the number one recruit, and he will be playing basketball this year at the University of Kansas. Eric, man, it's always great to catch up with you, man. We'll catch up with you down the line.
Appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. That is Eric Bossy joining us on the show today, talking a little high school recruiting. Coming up in about 20 minutes, Matt Tate will be on the show. We'll talk a little bit more about Kansas and Tyran Stokes. Keep it right here. It's The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for K-State athletics. 96.5 The Fan.
Wouldn't you like to take a vacation from your bills? Well, you can. With credit card balances at an all-time high and Golden Oak's 4.5% rate, you could be saving thousands of dollars after a simple phone call. Call today and get your cash in as little as 14 days and make no payments for 2 months. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Land Insured, my
5.442 APR, FHA 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit, additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
Spring is here, and as the weather heats up, the sports action heats up at Circa Sports. From baseball to basketball to hockey, Circa Sports has it all. Circa Sports isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. High betting limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Whether you're looking for playoff futures or props on your favorite players and more, Circa Sports has you covered. And don't miss out on the special Royals props for every game. Download Circa Sports app or visit circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
DQ presents the $7 meal deal, a delicious meal serving up serious value. We're talking 100% white meat, seasoned chicken strips, full-size fries, a drink, and of course, a classic DQ sundae. Because come on, no meal is complete without a sweet treat. All for just $7. And now you can try it with the new honey sriracha dip. The DQ $7 meal deal, a satisfying meal full of big flavor for a great value. DQ, happy tastes good.
If you've been putting off some much-needed painting, don't wait any longer. Call CertaPro Painters now. They'll provide a free estimate quickly and at the right price, and you never have to wonder what's next. They provide reliable communication and updates because they know how important your home is to you. Take advantage of CertaPro's spring sales event for 10% off qualifying projects before May 15th. Each CertaPro Painter's business is independently owned and operated, so schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
Hey guys, it's Rob Brennan from The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, and we're excited to announce the launch of Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series documenting the run-up to the upcoming World Cup with our friends over at 98.1 KMBZ.
And I'm Scott Parks from Daniel Parks on KMBZ. Beyond the Pitch KC features the biggest names who helped make the World Cup in Kansas City possible. And there was a lot of work, plus the major storylines heading into this summer's tournament.
This is so much more. This isn't just a podcast about soccer.
No, you're right, Rob. It's a podcast about Kansas City, for Kansas City, telling the story of how our town is hosting the world's biggest sporting event.
New episodes drop every Wednesday starting on March 4th, along with video clips that can be seen on 96.5 The Fan and KMBZ social channels.
So make sure you subscribe. Download Beyond the Pitch KC with Rob Brennan and myself, Scott Parks, on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
In a world in need of a hero, one man rises to the challenge in style. He is...
just driving the kids to soccer practice.
Make every day feel epic in the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid with up to an EPA-estimated 619 miles of range on select trims, advanced tech, and class-leading interior space. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
And hey, come on, no cleats on the seats.
Growing a brand is hard, but reaching the right customers shouldn't be. Meet Outcomes from Viant. We've built an intelligent platform that handles the complexity of digital advertising for you. Powered by advanced AI, we help your brand show up in the right places at the right time and ensure that every dollar you spend leads to a real business result. It's smarter advertising made simple. Visit Viant.ai.
Furnished by IntelliBrands.
Have you ever felt leg pain, restlessness, cramps, tingling, swelling, numbness, itchiness, or coldness? Then you need the new patented Legsercise Pro, the natural circulation booster that uses continuous automatic leg movement to soothe pain and promote healthy circulation the natural, drug-free way.
Using Legsercise made walking painless again.
Legsercise Pro's patented walking simulator propulsion technology moves your feet back and forth along its concave track, creating constant movement and flex at both the knee and ankle joints. It's like having a physical therapist right in your own home.
I have much less swelling and no more tingling.
Call right now and order your very own Legsercise Pro, the new proven automatic leg mover that soothes pain and naturally promotes healthy circulation. Call 800-555-1212. That's 800-555-1212. 800-555-1212 now.
These statements and products have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
Okay, downtown, the slow go is 70 westbound, just past 71. It is the right lane blocked by a stall. And then you've got heading out of downtown 70, eastbound at Prospect Avenue, right lane blocked there. I'm bound with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
follow this station on Instagram at @thefan965 for giveaways and behind-the-scenes content.
I want to share some information with you. Maybe you knew this, maybe you didn't. You know that we love a little 90s and 2000s nostalgia on this show. You know, that's when Rob and I were coming up when we were youngins. Now, for those of you old enough to remember, Krispy Kreme teamed up with the Royals to have maybe the greatest promotion in Kansas City sports history. For those of you not old enough, or maybe you weren't going to Royals games at this time, it was 12 hits for a dozen donuts. If the Royals got a dozen hits, your ticket was good for 12 free donuts. Now, one of the reasons why we remember this so fondly is the Royals were terrible for the most part during this stretch. So when the Royals were getting beat 6-3, but they had a bunch of hits, you would stick around because you wanted to chant, "We want donuts." And when they got that 12th hit, oh, I'm telling you, it'd be so exciting. To go to the Krispy Kreme over on Nolan Road right after the game and see that line filling up of people ready for their dozen donuts, oh, let me tell you, it was great. Well, they got rid of this. And we have been waiting patiently as a society for a promotion that could pop up and take Krispy Kreme's place. I think we have found it. So right now, Hawaiian Bros, they are doing plates for plates. If the Royals score 6 or more runs in a home game, the very next day, if you are a Hawaiian Bros reward member, so just download the app. If they score 6 or more runs in a home game, you will get a free plate lunch. So this is a $12 value. So you could have this, your wife could have this, both of you could have the app. You go to Hawaiian Bros, you show them, they put in your number, next thing you know, you got dinner for the evening. Now, I used this twice last week when this happened. It has already happened 7 times this season. So Eric Graves, who does phenomenal work over at Channel 9, he tweeted this out. Hawaiian Bros says that they have already given out 41,000 free meals as a part of this promotion, that the Royals just got to score 6 or more runs. The Royals did this 4 times during their last homestand, so people were filling up, getting themselves dinner day after day, courtesy of our friends over at Hawaiian Bros. Now, shout out to Joe Van Winkle. I don't know this man, but shout out to him. He tweeted this out. The Royals have had 16 home games so far. They have scored at least 6 runs 7 times. If they continue this pace, Rob, they will score 6 or more runs in 35 of their home games. Oh, this is great. That's more than donuts. This person went back and really did the research. Shout out to Joe Van Winkle. They only got 12 hits 27 times in 2003, 14 times in 2004, 19 times in 2005, and 20 times in 2006. So if they keep this pace, it will actually be a better promotion than the Krispy Kreme donuts. Oh, my goodness. I mean, it was my responsibility to share this with you. I can't pride myself as somebody who loves to throw the alley-oop. I can't fashion myself as a Chris Paul without sharing this promotion with you. If you go to the Royals game, it is possible for you to get a free Chick-fil-A sandwich and a free meal at Hawaiian Bros for you basically doing nothing but downloading these companies' app. Oh, my goodness. I don't know if the Royals are going to make the playoffs. I don't know if they're going to get back to 500. But what I do know is we're going to be fed because of the Kansas City Royals this summer. This is a phenomenal promotion. Now, I don't know if they're going to keep this up the whole year. Maybe they just get slammed the whole year and then they have to just pull out in the middle of it. I don't know. But I'm telling you right now, get in while the getting is good. They're at least going to have it for the next homestand. Download the Hawaiian Bros app right now. I don't do any commercial with them. I don't know these people. I'm not being paid to tell you this. You've never heard me read anything for Hawaiian Bros. But Hawaiian Bros, download the app right now. The next time the Royals score 6 runs in a home game, you get free Hawaiian Bros. I had to share that message with you. We're bringing Krispy Kreme back.
correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't there a time where this was a thing you could do inside the stadium? But they've changed that, right? Because I saw tweets back in early March, I guess late March, early in the season, that fans were taking advantage of this inside the stadium. Is that still the case? Or
I don't know. I actually didn't know about this until the last 2 times that it happened. Some of you have been on it since the very, very beginning. Somebody told me this. Hey, Carrington, did you know this? And I'm like, no, I've only been to one Royals game this year. And they scored 1 run in the game that I went to. So it was like, oh, hey, you can go out there. You can get yourself. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I might as well download it. Literally the next day after I downloaded it, they scored 6 runs. And I don't live that far from a Hawaiian Bros. Like, sure, I'll go over there. I won't get Chipotle today. I'll let the Royals pay for my meal. Then they did it the next day. I ate Hawaiian Bros 2 days in a row.
So hold on. I just want to make sure I'm hearing this correctly. It's better than the Krispy Kreme because Krispy Kreme, you had to have a ticket and be at the game.
Yeah, you had to physically go to the game. You only got to go to the game. You can go to 0 Royals games this year, and you can take advantage of this promotion. That's why I got to pass it to the people. I'm always share the deals with you guys.
So you're telling me the Royals offense getting going is not just good for the baseball team, it's good for the city's eating.
It's good. Someone's saying they're going to stop this. I don't know if they're going to stop it or not. I have absolutely no clue. I don't know. I'm just telling you, get in while the getting is good, is what I'm telling you. Someone said, what's the Chick-fil-A one? If you go to a Royals game and just open the app, you don't have to just open the Chick-fil-A app while you are at Kauffman Stadium. It will send you a QR code to get a free Chick-fil-A sandwich. That's all you need to do. That's what I'm saying. You can be eating good courtesy of the Royals. Just go to the games. Get yourself a sandwich. Go to the games. Eat good. Download the app. Stay at home. I've seen the attendance numbers. You guys are already staying home. You can now get some food out of it.
Let me ask you this, because remember, after the donuts left, they tried the Panera 13, and then they stopped that mid-season. If Hawaiian Bros quits,
They can't quit. I don't know. I'm guessing there's some, hey, we just financially can't do this anymore.
I'm going to say, if they dip out, of this promotion, is that more frustrating than when we lost the donuts? Because this is an objectively better deal for fans.
No, I'm with you. I don't know. All I'm saying is we got to get it while the getting's good. Somebody says I'm a Hawaiian Bros out. I don't really know how you can be. It's meat and rice. You know what I mean? It's a very simple, I can eat that just about every day.
I don't like macaroni salad. That's one of the reasons why I don't
get more rice. Swap it out. Swap it out. They got chicken, they got pork, they got steak, they got all these kind of things. I mean, trust me, for free, I'll make it work. And if you want to go in there and support them, they got that nice little Dole Whip ice cream sherbet kind of thing. Delicious. Get a drink while you're in there if you really want to support them. But I at least gotta share the information with you guys. Download the app. Get on your phone, download the app, and just sit there. You're already watching the game. When they get 6 runs, the next day it's going to update your app to use your reward. Now, I don't know how long you got. Maybe you only got 24 hours to use it. I don't know. But I'm just telling you. I'm here to help because I want to help you eat good. Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to be joined by Matt Tate. Matt Tate covers Kansas. Kansas has the #1 high school basketball recruit. The rich continue to get richer. We'll talk to him about it. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
I mean, come on, guys. What are we doing here?
On your home for Chiefs football, 96.5, The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5, The Fan.
Okay, downtown, the slow-go is 70 westbound, just past 71. It is the right lane blocked by a stall. And then you've got heading out of downtown 70, eastbound at Prospect Avenue, right lane blocked. There, I'm bound with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
What matters to you matters to us. That's why Busey Bank takes the time to understand your goals and build solutions that fit your story. From everyday banking to long-term planning, our team is here to help you navigate every stage with care and expertise. We're more than a bank. We're your neighbor, your advisor, and your advocate. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
The first leg in horse racing's Triple Crown is this Saturday. So whether you're watching from the track or the comfort of your own home on the couch, you can bet the Kentucky Derby on the same place you bet all your other favorite sports. You can bet it on FanDuel, and right now, all customers get a Derby bet reset. So that means you'll get a racing bonus back if your bet doesn't win. This app is super easy to use, and you don't have to be a horse racing expert to get in on the Derby Day action. So make sure to bet the fastest 2 minutes in sports on FanDuel and make it much, much more exciting with your Derby Bet reset. Kentucky Derby and Kentucky Oaks are registered trademarks of Churchill Downs Incorporated. FanDuel is the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Verified FD racing account required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable racing site credit that expires 9 days after receipt. Max refund $10 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at racing.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
What if you could have the most reliable Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee.
Just 5 years of fiber-powered Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most.
That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family's banking on bandwidth. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included.
Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi.
Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi? It would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that.
Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Powered by fiber, connected to the premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
There's nothing like the sound of Royals baseball. When the boys in blue take the field, loyal fans tune in, turn it up, and stay connected. And where do Kansas City's most passionate sports fans gather? Right here on 96.5 The Fan. Sports fans are loyal fans. They support the teams they love and the businesses that support their team. If you're ready to grow your business and connect with a dedicated, engaged audience, call 816-522-0444 or email greg.bergen@odyssey.com. That's greg.bergen at odyssey.com.
New treatments for joint pain are here. By now, you've heard about regenerative medicine. If you're wondering if you're a good candidate, answer these questions. First, does chronic pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or other joints keep you from doing the things you enjoy? Golfing, jogging, time with the family. Does it hurt doing the things you need to do, like getting out of bed, sleeping, working, and walking? And finally, do you want to avoid surgery and all of the pain, long recovery, and uncertainty that comes with it? If you answered yes to any of those, you need to call QC Kinetics now. Learn about exciting advancements in regenerative treatments that can give you long-lasting pain relief with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. Get your free consultation today. Call QC Kinetics. That's QC Kinetics. Here's the phone number.
Call now, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299.
If you're looking for more NFL draft coverage, go subscribe and follow the Character Concerns podcast with Bink and Chris on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. This is your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1. And HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Let's go to the phone lines right now to be joined by Matt Tate. He is with R1S1 Sports. Kansas has the #1 high school recruit in the country once again. Matt, is this like the third or fourth time that Kansas has done this since you've been covering the team?
Yeah, man, I think so. Like there's some different lists, right? So, like, you can even go back to Josh Selby, who was a bust here, but Selby, I think, ended up #1 on some lists. So you can look at Wiggins, Selby, obviously Peterson, and now Stokes, and I feel like there might be one more in there too. So, yeah, I mean, it's certainly not brand new, but it feels new in a lot of ways because of the era we're living in. Like, I mean, Josh Selby was a superstar. I mean, he went out to the Jordan game and tried to take New York by storm and was the talk of everything, right? But his whole charade was nothing compared to what Stokes has done, and what we've seen in the last couple of years with the highest rated recruits. Even probably going back to Zion Williamson is maybe when it really turned into this high gear that we're seeing it in right now. So each one's a little bit different. And obviously each career has been a little bit different. But, man, I remember very, very vividly when Wiggins committed to Kansas, and it was in the spring just like this. And, his first scrimmage, they used to do the camp scrimmage during Bill Self camp the first week of June or whatever. And his scrimmage, the first time he was going to play against the old vets that were in town and run with the new guys and all that. I mean, it was like Jay-Z was in town. Like the people were standing in the hallway of the volleyball gym where they played, just trying to get a look at him. You could feel it in the air. You could see way more cars, way more bodies than normal at these types of games. People waiting for autographs, and that was now 13 years ago. So with Tyran Stokes and the world we live in today, I cannot imagine what this whole experience is going to be like. We got a glimpse of it with Darren Peterson, but obviously, I'd be the first to tell you, and I will tell you loudly that these are two very different players and very different personalities.
Right now, we're talking to Matt Tate, talking about Tyran Stokes, the #1 high school basketball player in the country. He is going to Kansas. So let's start with this. I don't know if you've seen the kid play or not. Have you seen him play? What are you hearing from people around Kansas who have seen him play?
Yeah, not in person. I haven't, but watched plenty of his obviously tape and different highlights and just games that he's been in, because he's been in so many high profile games. So I don't remember seeing anything like him at KU. There've been forwards that have guard skills, and there've been guys that are good inside and out, and guys that can run in the open floor and finish with physicality and all that. But he can do all of that, and so I do think that we are in for a completely new experience. I don't think there's a good KU comp for him, and I'm a big fan of trying to find those comps, but I don't think there is one for him. And Self said as much today, when they officially signed him and he was able to comment on him for the first time. He basically said he's the most versatile youngster. I love when he uses the word youngster about a guy like Tyran Stokes, but the most versatile youngster that he's ever recruited. And, that says a lot right there. So, there's a lot to wonder about with his personality and the antics and everything else that he brings to the table. And I'm sure we'll get into that. And obviously we'll see what that brings as the year and the season, arrive and move on. But as far as just basketball skills, man, there's not a team in the country that wouldn't love to have this guy, and there's not really much he can't do out there. We have to see if it translates, but everybody that I've talked to says it will, and if it does, he's single-handedly, elevated this KU program, or this KU team anyway, back into the national conversation as a top 10 type of team.
I was just going to ask you how important you thought it was that they got Tyran Stokes. It felt like his commitment was really going to swing the pendulum, whether it was for Kentucky, who desperately needed him, or Kansas, who they've had an okay transfer portal season, but they hadn't really hit that home run. They just got it picking up Stokes.
For sure. It is April turning May, and the season's still 5 months away or 6 months away or whatever. So you have to take these with a grain of salt. But you see these guys that cover college basketball 365 days a year, and they're tracking every roster out there, and they're putting out their top 25s or their top 40s or whatever it is. And the most recent ones I've seen until today, they didn't have Kansas on there. And I don't think that's, these guys are trying to be, different or trying to dog KU or anything crazy like that. It's just, you look at the roster and it made sense. It wasn't there. And so you add a guy like this, and in addition to just adding him and what he'll bring production-wise and, in terms of eyeballs and possibly even other players, you're also looking at just that sort of signature piece. And so he's really tight with the other freshmen that they have. That's the biggest name in this class so far, and that's 5-star point guard Taylor Kinney. And they already have an incredible chemistry together, and they've been talking about playing together for a long, long time when they got to this level. And now they get to do it at Kansas. And so, again, both of their games have to translate. But if you look at all these recruiting sites and you talk to the people who have seen them, on the AAU circuit and whatever else, they've said about both players that they are ready-made college basketball players, that they have a physicality that's different than most kids their age or most kids coming into college basketball. And I think what both of them have as well is just a really, really good feel and polished all-around game. Again, it has to be Kansas level. It has to work for Bill Self's standard, and it has to make that adjustment to playing with some different competition. But we'll see if that happens, and they'll have the chance to prove it. But there's no reason to think that those two running some kind of two-man game and just the feel that they have off of one another, there's no reason to think that can't be a really dynamic duo. And then if you look at what else is around them, all of a sudden the rest of those pieces look much, much different than they did 2 days ago.
Right now, we're talking to Matt Tate, who covers Kansas basketball. They got the #1 high school recruit. There's no way to go inside the mind of Bill Self, but do you think Bill Self comes back if he doesn't have a strong inclination that they're going to get Stokes? It's not like this commitment came out of nowhere. We've been talking about it for 2 months that they were the favorites to go get him. They actually land him, so now it's done. Do you think this had an effect on Bill coming back?
I do. I do. I think he – I can't. You're right. I can't get in his head, and I can't say that he wouldn't have come back if he didn't think he was going to get him or anything like that. But I think they felt. I think they felt good about it from January on, and that doesn't mean there weren't some tough days. That doesn't mean that there weren't some moments where they had to turn it up a little bit more to close and things of that nature. It has been a saga, and it has been ongoing, and it'd be one thing if you're recruiting against just 3-4 other schools, but when one of those and your main competition in this game is Kentucky and a Nike school and all that, you can't sleep until he's on campus and signed. And so I think that, again, I think they were really feeling good about where they were at with him all the way back to January, and certainly when Coach Self was making his decision on whether to return. And I think that was a big reason that he decided ultimately to come back and at least do one more year, because, you heard a lot about him talking about how elite and generational and special Darren Peterson was. And I think if he had stayed healthy or it had been less weird for at the very least, I think we would have seen that. I think we saw it in glimpses, and I think if Darren had just had a normal season, everybody would have understood why Self talked about him for 2 years before he even got here. But it didn't work out, and it wasn't at all the way either of them thought it would be. And so now he gets another crack at it, and he gets another crack at it with, again, a very different player than Darren, but a player that has every bit the same opportunity to impact the game the way they thought Darren could and would. And everything that I read and talk to people about with Stokes' game too is, you see the physical talent and you see him as a physical player. But they say, pay attention to his feet and his hands and his vision. This is a complete player, and it's not just a guy who needs the ball and wants to just bully people and go score. He can do that, but there are really little tiny intricacies about his game that put him on another level, I think, and made him the clear #1 player in the class. And now he gets to go prove it and back it up. And Self gets to have another crack at enjoying the fruits of that if it happens. So I do think it was a big part of his plan for his future, Bill's. And I think that, again, nobody knew in January for sure, but I think they felt great about it.
Right now, we're talking to Matt Tate about Kansas. They get the #1 high school basketball recruit. Obviously, Stokes is going to be the crown jewel. He's the top player. What do you make of? How do you feel about the rest of their class?
The freshmen specifically, or just everybody they're bringing in?
The freshmen. We'll talk about the portal class and what you think they need to do, but you mentioned Kenny. You got a couple of other. You got the Perry kid. What do you make of the rest of their freshman class?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think it's ranked number 2 now, maybe by 24/7 Sports, and so obviously, far be it from me to say they're wrong. Those guys do it year round and year after year, so it makes sense to me. Davion Adkins has been injured, but he's a physical presence who, could play right away. And he's a big, strong, forward, athletic. There's a lot to like about his game. And all of a sudden with Stokes and Kenny, he's a little bit under the radar. The other one that I think is in that class that's way under the radar is Luke Barnett. And, Self's called him one of the best shooters they've ever recruited. They've recruited some pretty darn good shooters. One very recently, Grady Dick, was unbelievable, and I think he said the best since then for sure. So, Barnett's got some work to do before he for sure gets into the rotation, and he's got to handle the adjustment of, bumping up a level and the physicality and speed of the game, and he's got to be able to defend, and, all the same old story for every player that's ever played for Bill Self. But if he's able to hang in those departments, man, I think he brings a lot. He's not Braylon Mullins of UConn by any means. I mean, Braylon Mullins probably would have been a lottery pick if he came out this year after his freshman year. But I think in a Kansas type of way, relative to the roster that Kansas has, he could be that type of player. I mean, just an athletic. No range is limiting him. He can shoot from anywhere, and he's got a quick shot and an incredible shot. I mean, I think that's a dude that people should watch very closely because if he's able to make the adjustment quickly, he could definitely be in that rotation, by next December, or maybe even earlier than that. So those 4 guys right there, Stokes, Kenny, Adkins, and Barnett. I mean, that's a really good group. I mean, they could all play right away. And then Perry's Trent Perry's a terrific athlete. I don't know if he's quite as ready. I haven't seen as much of him at all and talked to many people about him, but I think he could maybe need a little bit of time, and especially if they're able to fill out the rest of the roster with some more portal guys who do have experience. That could be a situation where he's a guy that they bring along a little more slowly, but lots to like about his game too. I mean, versatile, all kinds of variety of skills, an athlete. I mean, he belongs in the class. He's just not at the very tip top of it like those other guys are. So I think it's a really, really good class. And would it have been enough without Stokes? Probably not. I mean, they would have had a lot more pressure on them. There would have been a lot more on their shoulders. They would have had to carry a lot more of the load, obviously. Now I think they all get to be, even Kenny, they all get to be kind of what they are and be brought along at their own pace. And as long as they're moving forward, it'll all work out for them because they have some veterans and some returners and some other guys. And now they have Stokes that will obviously take the lion's share of the pressure and the responsibility and the load, and he'll be the face.
That is Matt Tate joining us on the show. He is with R1S1 Sports, getting his thoughts on Kansas as they pick up the #1 high school basketball recruit. They have the #2 ranked overall high school class. The Jayhawks looking to reload after taking some hits in the transfer portal. Great stuff, Matt. We'll catch up with you.
All right, man. Thank you very much. Have a good one.
Absolutely, man. That is Matt Tate joining us on the show today. Rob, really quickly, what team do you think that Taylon Kenny's going to play on his sophomore season? Like, can we start taking bets on that right now? Because Kansas cannot be the favorite.
Taylon Kenny, he'll be a pro.
Oh, you think he's one and done?
I think Taylon Kenny's one and done.
Okay, my bad. I didn't know.
I think Taylon Kenny and Tyran Stokes both one.
I can't wait to troll you all basketball season when I just start calling them future other college mascots that are not future Jayhawk. It's going to be so good this season. Like, Taylon Kenny's going to have a really good game where he scores 20 points, and then we come on here and I call him future volunteer or future Wildcat. It's going to be so good. It's going to be really good. I can just sense how mad everybody's going to be. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait. All right, coming up on the other side, let's switch back to the Kansas City Chiefs. So I did some digging, and I found the projected over-under for Rashee Rice receiving yards. Right now, it is at 925 yards. Would you take the over or the under for Rashee Rice heading into the year? We'll get into it. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on Kansas City's only FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
Hello, Kansas City. Bank of America, in partnership with Visa, invites you to a FIFA World Cup 26 watch party. Open an eligible Bank of America checking account in participating financial centers only for an opportunity to reserve 2 complimentary tickets while supplies last. Experience special musical guests, games, giveaways, food, and more, all at a legendary venue. Learn more at BofA.com/BofA Visa Watch Party. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 26. Bank of America NA, member FDIC. Terms apply. All rights reserved.
Whether you're looking for a Bronco, an Explorer, an F-150, or even a commercial vehicle, Robside Ford has the selection.
That's right, Kevin. We've got it all. And we've got the lowest prices in Kansas City. No gimmicks, just great deals on every new Ford.
And it's not just inventory, it's how you do business. Robside Ford makes it very simple.
We do it different on purpose. Non-commissioned sales team, upfront transparent pricing, top dollar trade-in values, and a process that's actually easy.
You've even got the reputation to back it up, Bobby. Kansas City's only top-rated Ford dealer on Google. 4.8 stars, 3,000 reviews. Wow.
And this year, we're proud to be voted Best Car Dealership in KC by Kansas City Magazine.
So if you're ready for a better car buying experience,
come see us at 135th and State Line or check us out at robsight.com.
From Broncos to F-150s to work trucks, Robside Ford has what you need.
If you want simple and easy, you're not going to find a better spot.
Robside Ford. Buy right. Drive happy.
Hi, I'm Jacob, your friend and an actual jeweler at Chain Company. I'm proud to work for a family business that's been committed to the highest quality standards for nearly 100 years. Your dream engagement ring is designed for quality every step of the way. We set your diamond by hand, never with machines. Prong tips are beautiful and secure, and intricate details are thoughtfully crafted. At Shane Company, there's no shortcuts, just craftsmanship, because a friend knows true love deserves the highest quality. Visit us in store or at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I need a little range. Step to the range. Come on, meet me at the
Introducing the new Chick-fil-A Jalapeno Ranch Club Sandwich. With that juicy Chick-fil-A chicken on a buttermilk ranch bun, jalapeno ranch sauce, and pickled jalapenos, it's a little ranch with a lot of kick. The new Chick-fil-A Jalapeno Ranch Club with original spicy or grilled filet. Available for a limited time only. Order ahead on the Chick-fil-A app.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this. The countdown to the World Soccer Championship is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are, that's the benefit of blue. Visit bluekc.com/benefit of blue for more information. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
This one brought to you by Buckner's Heating and Cooling. Two-car crash near Independence, 435 southbound just before 24 highway. Left lane is blocked. Trying to get out of downtown on 70 eastbound. The wreck is at Prospect. Right lane blocked. I'm down with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Chris Jones from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, we actually have a lot of things to get into in this segment. Let's start with thing number one. Now, I asked this question right before we threw it to break. 913-586-7965. I did a little bit of Googles. I did some research because it's just like, it isn't readily available yet. Everybody doesn't have all of their player props up. But the projected line and over-under for Rashee Rice is going to be 925 yards. I threw out there, hey, are you guys taking the over or the under? If I gave you a free bet right now and said it's even money on both sides, what side of the bet are you taking? A large majority of the text line said that they would take the under on 925 yards for Rashee Rice, which, Rob, leads me to this.
With the knowledge you've been given, you are now on the inside of what I like to call the Burns family circle of trust. See, if I can't trust you, Greg, then I have no choice but to put you right back outside the circle. And once you're out, you're out. There's no coming back.
Well, I would definitely like to stay inside the circle.
Rob, simple question. Do you think that Rashee Rice is in or out of the Chiefs Kingdom circle of trust?
Ooh, that's a really good question.
Because I'm not sure if he or Xavier Worthy are inside the circle of trust right now. I think just about everybody else is inside the circle of trust. Do you think that Rashee Rice, let's focus in on him. Let's remove Xavier Worthy. Let's focus in on Rashee Rice. Do you think he is in or out of Chiefs Kingdom, Chiefs fans, not the organization? I'm talking about average run-of-the-mill Chiefs fan that would come up to you on a Saturday, recognize you, and want to talk football. Is Rashee Rice in or out of that fan circle of trust?
It's a great question. I don't think either answer is wrong. Because I think from a purely on-the-field standpoint, fans are starting to buy back into Rashee Rice. Because he's going to have no suspension. He's going to be healthy going into the season, based on what we know right now. He's in a contract year, which is undefeated. I think fans believe all that. But I also feel like he's kind of had some, to undersell a little bit, he's had some off-the-field issues, which has changed the perception of him based on the fandom. So I think he's outside the circle right now, but he's as close to in while being out as you can possibly be. So I think outside, but I don't think there's a wrong answer to in or outside the circle. I think it's on the field versus off the field totally with him.
I've got a lot of questions now from reading the text line. Listen to this. Under, he's going to get arrested. C-Dot, I'm going to take the under, but hope that I'm wrong. I'm also going, somebody else, I'm going to take the under because I haven't seen a full season. Under, I'd put my house on it. Why would we think that he has any chance to get close to that number? The text line, as of now, is out on Rashee Rice. I think that is very, very safe to say from what we have read over the last week. The text line is out. Now, I've got more questions here. I've got two more questions. These just popped. We did not talk about this, Rob. First question is, do you think that he can get back inside the circle of trust? Because he is firmly on the out right now. Do you think that Rashee Rice can get himself back into Chiefs fans' hearts? Because you remember all offseason, there was oh man, wait till he gets healthy. Wait till he gets healthy. Oh man, when they get everybody healthy. You remember this. We were selling, though, when the Chiefs got Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, and Hollywood Brown. They were going to take the league by storm. It wasn't that long ago that people loved Rashee Rice. It was not that long ago. Do you think that he can play himself back into the hearts of Chiefs fans?
100,000%. Yes. That's the most, yes. Chiefs fans this offseason, or at least a portion on the text line, are ready to welcome back Tyreek Hill with open arms because he's a free agent. The same Tyreek Hill that 3 offseasons ago, we were playing clips from his podcast, and Chiefs fans were saying he didn't deserve to be in the Ring of Honor because of what he was saying. Yes, you can always
win. It's emotional right now, and that's okay. Folks can be emotional. I get that.
You can always
also understand he has to prove it to you in order for you to get back in. Do you think there's anything that Rice could do this season that would get people on side to pay him? Because I would say we are on the whole other side of the spectrum. I would say you have never seen Chiefs fans as down on Rashee Rice as they are right now. At any point. Not when he got drafted, not over his rookie year when he got off to a slow start, not heading into his second year. I mean, those first 4 games of his second year, people were talking about Rashee Rice like he was a top 10 receiver in the league. He got hurt with some friendly fire. We then found out his suspension. He came back, and now the shine is completely worn off of Rashee Rice.
I don't think there's anything that he can do to win the fans back as far as a contract for this reason. I think quietly, Chiefs fans have started looking at wide receiver the way the team looks at corner. Oh, we don't pay that position. We just turn and burn.
They ain't really had nobody worth paying in 10 years other than Tyreek Hill either.
And then it only takes one for a precedent to be set. They also don't draft them in the top 10. They don't go out and spend big money in free agency on them. I think the Chiefs, Nate Taylor said it a couple days ago on the show, the Chiefs money ball at wide receiver, and I think fans are bought into that. So I think he can get back into fans' good graces, but I don't think you're going to see a fan in February be like, he's got to get the mega contract, especially considering last time you heard from him, he was on Instagram Live talking about JSN money. No, I don't think fans are ever going to want to give that contract to him.
Okay, I have one more question, but let's read through the text line. All of these questions, they just came to me. I'm reading the text line, and I would say, and you're right, Rob, for the most part, the text line is either really high on a player or I would say it's the pendulum now on the other side. It appears to me that you guys have given up on Rashee Rice. And it usually takes a long time for the text line to give up on a Chiefs player. They will give up on a Royals player in a New York minute. They will give up on a college player very quickly. Oh, if you on the Chiefs, they will give you every excuse in the world. I'm still seeing people try to sell me the FAU dream on the text line. Oh, well, he was hurt, contract year, I'm not really seeing a whole lot of people selling the dream for Rashee Rice heading into this season. Text line, there's no more circle. Get what you can out of him next year, and he's gone. Somebody else, he's outside the circle right now, but a good season of production and cleaning his act up off the field can certainly get him back inside the circle to me. All right, more questions are they're flowing to my brain. All right, this is question number 1 that I have. I just wrote this down. Let's say that the Chiefs traded Rashee Rice right now for the 2027 second-round pick for the San Francisco 49ers. Do you think Chiefs fans would be happy or upset?
Right now.
I'm saying right now after the draft, but everybody is high on 2027's draft class. If the Chiefs traded Rashee Rice today, you hit the breaking news sounder, and they got San Francisco's second-round pick for Rashee Rice. Do you think people will be happy or upset?
Upset.
I don't know if that's the case. Maybe I'm overreacting to what I'm reading. I don't know right now if you told me I think if you tell a lot of Chiefs fans you don't have to deal with the headache anymore, you are going to get a better selection than you ended up using on Rashee Rice, also better than what you would get with the compensatory pick. And now you can go out and maybe go get a Tyreek Hill, maybe go get a Keenan Allen, go get one of these other options and just make do for a year. I think there is a group of Chiefs fans that are just quite ready to get him out of your hair. He has been such a problem, such a nuisance. It's never figured out. Let's get what we can. I don't know if people would be mad if they got a second-round pick right now.
I think it's the 2027 part, which is why I say they'd be upset. If you asked me that question a literal week ago, like Wednesday before the draft, hey, you can pick a player at the end of the first round. Whoever at the end of the first round. Dolphin, just picking a random team. You get a first-round pick in tomorrow's draft for Rashee Rice. I think overwhelmingly, yes, the headache is over, move on. But I think Chiefs fans would be upset with that move because that means going into the season, your wide receiver room is Xavier Worthy, who I think they have questions about, Tyquan Thornton, who they love, but it's fair to have questions about, and then TBD. Because you'd have the kid from Cincinnati, you'd have the UDFAs, you'd have Nico Remigio, you might be able to move Bashard Smith from running back to wide receiver. Like, they have, human bodies, but there's not a guy that they trust in that room. So I think because of the fact they would be in a bad spot for 2026, if the Chiefs hypothetically traded to the Niners for the 27th pick in 2027 today, Chiefs fans be flustered. But that's because of the 2027 element, not because of Rashee Rice.
Okay, this is the last question that I have related to Rashee Rice. Let's say that Rashee Rice and his agent go to the Chiefs right now and say, I am willing to sign Chris Godwin's contract today. Chris Godwin signed a 3-year, $66 million contract and got $44 million guaranteed. Chris Godwin is the 21st highest paid receiver in the National Football League. Now, I can't think of off the top of my head, but I'm going to guess some wide receiver is going to get paid this offseason. Like, there's somebody we're not thinking about. They're going to get some big extension. I'm going to guess that by the end of this offseason, Chris Godwin will probably be closer to 23 to 27, highest paid receiver in the league. And then once you get past that mark, it's either you were a high draft pick like a Marvin Harrison Jr., who's the 33rd highest paid receiver in the National Football League, or it's a lot of guys who are veteran players like a Cooper Kupp, who signed for $45 million, who clearly is on the back half of his career. If Rice and his agent came to you right now and said, we're willing to take Chris Godwin's deal at 3 years, 21, or 3 years, 66, so 22 per, which is below market value, would you be interested in that?
Now, I want to make sure I understand the question completely. You're asking me, Rob Brinton, not me speaking for Chiefs Kingdom.
Yeah, either one.
Because I think those two answers are different. I would do that because I think that's under market value. But
I would say if Rice is who people thought he was 6 months ago, that is significantly under market value. He's probably somewhere closer to Jalen Waddle, Jameson Williams. They got 80 to 85 million. If he's willing to take 65 today, just I need money, I want to be here in Kansas City. Are you at least listening to Rashee Rice if he throws that number out there?
I'm listening to Rashee Rice that number. I don't know what the text line is. I think that's because of the sticker shock of the number. I think people haven't adjusted when they hear these numbers to wide receiver and that being the norm, and the idea that Chris Godwin is the 25th highest paid wide receiver at $66 million. I don't think the average fan listening just has that knowledge offhand. So I think Chiefs Kingdom would have sticker shock by that number and say no. I would at least listen to Rashee Rice's agent in that hypothetical. I also think in this hypothetical, I don't think there's any chance that Rashee Rice is calling Brett Veach for that number today. I think they are looking for Jameson Williams.
No, 100%. I don't think they're taking. I was just curious if you're even interested in him taking a little bit of a deal. Somebody on the text line said, sure, if he got 1,000 yards, I'd be interested. Then the window is over because then I don't know why you would take less. Let's say Rashee Rice goes out there and balls out this year. Well, then I would either force the Chiefs to franchise tag me. The franchise tag this year at wide receiver was $27.3 million.
It's going to go up.
The salary cap is not going down. It's going up. So the franchise tag number is going to be bigger next year for a wide receiver. So that's less than what the franchise tag number is. Or you just roll the dice and you would see what you would get in free agency. Now, again, I don't think he's signing a 3-year for $66 million, but I also think it goes to show you people aren't even interested for Rashee Rice at 60, 70% off. That's how much the decline has happened with him. You're not even interested for getting him on sale. Like, you're just not interested right now. You're walking right past that aisle because him signing for 3 years, 66 is a discount.
100% discount. I'm looking this up. What's A.J. Brown's contract?
I have it right here. Let me pull it up. He is the 11th highest paid receiver in the league. He is on a $96 million contract. He signed for 3 for $96, $20 million signing bonus, $84 million guaranteed.
I think that's what Rashee Rice's agent would call for.
Of course. But I mean, he's getting A.J. Brown's contract from who? From where?
I'm sorry, Freight's better. If he balls out this year,
I think if he balls out, he needs to try to get Michael Pittman or Christian Kirk's deal.
I don't think he's getting long term anywhere. That's why I use A.J. Brown because I knew Brown was high number, low year. I don't think he's getting the JSN 5 or 6 year deal. I think he's getting short turnaround, be here for a short time, not a long time, and big money. So, like for the texter who says, if he has 1,000 yards, I'm in. If he has 1,000 yards, I bet the bidding starts at what A.J. Brown just got.
Yeah, I mean, if he gets 1,200 yards this year, the Chiefs will seriously consider the franchise tag. They will seriously consider it.
I think that'd be a mistake by the Chiefs, but I agree they would consider it.
Yeah,
With how expensive wide receiver is, yes, it's a mistake.
I agree with you, but if you want to play this out, the franchise tag allows you one more year, and then it allows you to then spend a draft pick next year to position yourself for life after Rashee Rice. It also gives you the flexibility if you want to trade him at the end of the season. Like, you're going to let Rashee Rice get 1,300 yards this year, finally get to what you thought he could get to. He stays healthy, he stays out of trouble, and then this is going to be thank you. You can now go play for somebody else. We're not going to get anything for it at the end of it. Just 2.5 years of headache at the end of it, and maybe a 4th or a 5th round compensatory pick. I'm not saying they will franchise tag him, but if he has a George Pickens kind of year, you are not just letting that player just leave in free agency and you are not doing anything to try to stop it. They will do something to try to at least give themselves some leverage over what happens next.
That's fair. I think they would. I think having him play next year on the franchise tag would be a mistake if the scenario we're laying out hypothetically plays out, because we mentioned the tag right now for wide receiver. One of the reasons it's going up, George Pickens is eventually going to get a contract, which will reshape the entire wide receiver market.
Okay, I'm asking questions about Rashee Rice.
To this point, though, do you think Steelers fans are happy with how it went with George Pickens? Because up until his year in Dallas, I think Pickens-Rice comparisons are fair. Pickens was traded away from Pittsburgh to Dallas. We know that. Do you think right now, if we called a random Pittsburgh fan, if we called Pony and said, hey, Pony, hey, how are people up in Heinz Field or whatever the name of that stadium is feeling about the George Pickens trade 12 months later? I think whatever that reaction is, how Chiefs fans will feel about trading Rashee Rice right now when they still feel like there's value to be had on the football field.
I'll ask you this one. Now this is just a series of Rashee Rice questions. I've actually really enjoyed this, asking all of my questions. Do you think that Rashee Rice gets a better or worse contract than Jerry Jeudy? Jerry Jeudy signed a 3-year, $52.5 million deal and got $41 million guaranteed. I'm not even saying in Kansas City.
Just
anywhere.
Generally speaking.
Next season, do you think that Rashee Rice gets a better or worse contract than Jerry Jeudy? 3 for $52 million. Because that's low end. For example, here, I'll give you some time to think about it. The next highest paid receiver after Jerry Jeudy is Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that just goes to show you that is a veteran and then a rookie contract. And then after that, it's just all guys on. It's all guys over 30. It's Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams, Mike Evans. It's all of those guys next. Guys who got paid, but now they're 32, 33 years old, and they're on their last contract.
I think
Jerry Jeudy's deal, 3 for $52.
I think he's a better deal than Jeudy.
Okay.
Because I'm going to assume he's, even if, let's turn ball out, if he does what he did his rookie year, 900 some odd yards, and keeps his nose clean for an offseason or a season, 2 big ifs, by the way, I think he can do better than Jerry Jeudy, but I don't think his number is light years better unless he does something special on the field.
Okay. All right. I didn't know we were going to take this turn today when it came to Rashee Rice, but this was a very informative, very eye-opening segment. I do not think I think actually Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy are the only 2 Chiefs players not inside the Chiefs' circle of trust right now. I think every other player is inside, even Jalen Moore. I think it's an uncertainty, but I think it's also what other option do we have? Now, they will turn on Jalen Moore very quickly. Well, they will not turn on some other guys very quickly. But let's say Jalen Moore gets off to a rough start. You will start to see the Issa Pole texts coming in by the droves.
Does that apply to Josh Simmons too?
No, it's different. First round pick, it's their own.
What if he misses
time
again?
People like you have already convinced themselves that he's
what if he misses
Anthony Munoz.
What if he misses time again for reasons TBD?
If it's an injury, no. If it is,
hey, he's missing.
Yes.
Okay.
If Simmons is just gone for another game with no explanation, you already got the first unexcused absence. You don't get 2 in your career. Certainly not in back-to-back years. This ain't like year 7 and you've been balling out and then you just take a year off. If you're telling me in back-to-back years Josh Simmons is MIA, that will absolutely get you outside the Chiefs' circle of trust. I think every other Chiefs player is inside it right now. I mean, even Christian Fulton, who couldn't even play last year on the team, couldn't even play. He's on the circle of trust. Yeah, I think that's it. I think it's 3 people right now. I think it's Rice, Worthy, and Jalen Moore, I think, is in it. But you and I both know how the text. They will turn on Jalen Moore. If he has one false start penalty, get Isapole in there. We want him in there. I'm telling you, I've done this too long. I know exactly how people are going to go. Rob, you know what? I want to thank you you had a running back topic earlier. I want to talk to you about the World Cup. I have a World Cup topic that I want to share with you. This is your reward for your hard work. We're going to talk about the World Cup next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
Tune in to hear the Hall of Fame voice of the Royals, Denny Matthews.
There's a high fly ball, deep left center. That goes Ward to the wall. Gone. Bobby Witt Jr.
Every Monday at 3, right here on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan.
The first leg of the horse racing Triple Crown is on Saturday. So whether you're going to Churchill Downs or you're watching it from the comfort of your couch, you can bet the Kentucky Derby on the same place that you can bet on all of your other favorite sports on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app. And right now, all customers can get a Derby bet reset. That means you'll get racing bonus backs if your bet doesn't win. The app is super easy to use. You don't have to be a horse racing expert to get in on the Derby Day action. This is one of my favorite events of the sports calendar. There's no better place to celebrate one of America's exciting sporting events than with our friends over at FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app. So bet the fastest 2 minutes in sports on FanDuel and make it that much more exciting with your Derby bet reset. The Kentucky Derby and Kentucky Oaks are registered trademarks of Churchill Downs Incorporated. 21 and present in Missouri. Verified FD racing account required. Refund issued. Non-withdrawal of racing site credit expires 7 days after receipt. Max refund $10 as otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at racing.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLE.
Telly Tire and Auto Center's biggest sale is back. The tires at cost sale. That's right. You pay what we pay on any in-stock tires from Telly's huge inventory. Our certified techs will even mount and balance them for only $30 per tire. All that plus a 30-day ride guarantee and lifetime tire protection. Gas and grocery prices may be going up, but there's never been a better time to buy tires. Reserve yours now at TELLEtire.com before our sale ends. Take care of your car. Take it to Telly. Additional charges apply for tire disposal and road hazard warranty.
Time's running out to get 10% off your home painting project. Take advantage of CertaPro's spring sales event before May 15th. And if you've been putting off painting, now's the time. From scuffs inside to peeling paint outside, protect your home with CertaPro painters. Their free estimates are detailed and easy to understand. And each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated right here in Kansas City. So schedule your free estimate now at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
Hey, it's Rob Britton from The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, and we're excited to announce the launch of Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series documenting the run-up to the World Cup with our friends over at 98.1 KMBZ.
And Rob, I'm Scott Parks from Dana & Parks on KMBZ. Beyond the Pitch KC will feature the biggest names who made the World Cup in Kansas City possible, plus the biggest storylines heading into this summer's tournament. This is not a podcast about soccer. Don't get us wrong. This is a podcast about Kansas City. This is a podcast for Kansas City. And this is a podcast that'll tell the story of how our town is hosting the world's biggest sporting event.
New episodes will be released every Wednesday starting on March 4th, as well as video clips that can be seen on 96.5 The Fan and KMBZ's social channels.
Subscribe and download to Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series with myself, Rob Bretton, on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
At Liberty Mutual, we love helping people with things like customizing car insurance, just like how we customize a song for you. Catered country tune. Liberty Mutual, saving you bucks by protecting your truck. 'Cause 30 told me to only pay for what I need. Thank you, Limu. I'll always trust in Limu with Liberty, 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 Liberty.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Replacing your HVAC doesn't have to be an emergency. Plan now, pay less later. For a limited time, take advantage of an HVAC replacement with financing starting as low as $149 a month. More options, better timing, and less stress for your home.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
Got the crash that is near Independence, 435 southbound, just before 24 Highway. Left lane is blocked. Near downtown, we've got the new one that's 35 northbound in front. 2 left lanes are blocked. I see a lot of red, a lot of backup. Crash 35 southbound. It's the on-ramp from Lamar affecting 35 southbound. Be prepared to tap your brakes. I'm Foul with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Subscribe to 96.5 The Fan on YouTube to watch the show from wherever you are.
All right, you know what? Sometimes you got to reward your guys. You know, the same way that Patrick Mahomes gets his offensive lineman things. And you guys remember at Christmas, I tried to give Rob a gift, and he didn't want to receive the gift, and that's okay. That's his choice. Rob had a running back topic earlier. Now, we might go over it again in the 5 o'clock hour, but I'm happy for Rob. So I'm going to reward Rob because you got to feed the bigs. I want to talk about the World Cup. Now, I recently bought World Cup tickets. Now, I do not know what game I'm going to. Rob, what game am I going to again? Who's playing?
You were going to see Austria and Algeria play.
I don't know. Rob just told me how much the tickets cost. They were a reasonable number. I agreed to go to the game. I don't know anything about them. I don't know where these countries are. I don't know anything. I just know that I will at least be at one World Cup game because I want to experience it. I am interested in the World Cup. It's coming to our city. It's a sports thing. Rob's into it. I know the city will be into it. I'm like, you know what? The same way that you guys get fake excited about winter sports for a couple of weeks, I can do that with soccer for 6 weeks. I can get excited about soccer. All right, cool. I'm on board. I'm starting to feel more and more like this World Cup is a scam. Can I read to you a story? This is on KCTV5's website. Listen to this. KC hotels and airport are still waiting for World Cup booking rush. You remember they have been selling to us for almost a year now of how many people are coming to Kansas City. Oh, it's going to be all of these people. They're coming to Kansas City. Oh, it's going to be hotels are going to be packed. They're going to buy up all your Airbnbs. The streets are going to be, the bars are staying open 24/7. Oh, it's going to be a magical time. This is on their website. Less than 50 days until the first match, the reservation window compresses. Okay, all right. Then they're talking to hotel owners. They talk to the Chateau Avalon, and he's saying they still got a lot of availability left, and they are expecting some kind of rush once we get closer. We've known these matchups for almost a year now. If you're coming in from another country, like if you're coming in from Argentina, you haven't already decided if you're coming or not to Kansas City to watch your team play? What are you waiting for? I'm confused. This isn't like a thing like, oh, I'm just flying to Vegas on a whim. No, you live in another country. You should have started that process a long time ago if you were coming. Do we think that people are coming from other American cities to come watch this? Are we thinking that people last minute are going to drive in from Omaha to be at these games? Because I saw the ticket prices. If it wasn't in Kansas City, I would not be going to a World Cup game. I wouldn't be going. If the World Cup was in St. Louis and it was the price that they are charging for these and the parking they're charging for all of this stuff and everything that they got going on, I'm only going to this thing because it's down the street from the house. It's the only reason why I'm at this thing. I'm starting to think this is a scam. I'm serious. I'm not even trying to be funny. I think this is a scam. They have been lying to us. Now, we don't got to get into all the political reasons of why people might not want to travel internationally. I'm talking about they have been selling us an unrealistic number of people that are coming to Kansas City. And I think once it actually gets here, it's going to be a lot like the NFL draft. You remember when the draft was here, there was a lot of people who thought they were going to get rich off the NFL draft being here. And they overstaffed and they did all of this stuff thinking that they were going to get this huge windfall. And then their businesses stayed empty. Nobody came. And they were mad after it was over. I think there's a lot of people who thought they were about to get rich off the World Cup. And once the World Cup leaves, some people are going to make money for sure, right? Like some people are going to make money off of this thing. I have a feeling that when this is over, there's going to be a lot more people that thought this was their lottery ticket that are about to find themselves in a worse spot because we got the World Cup. That is just my prediction based on everything that I'm reading about this thing.
As we get closer and closer, I think more and more, maybe this 600 to 800,000 person boom the city's going to feel over the 6 weeks might be a little north. But I don't think it's going to be as bad as the draft was. I do think the thing Kansas City is going to experience as far as boom is not the matches. It's the team staying here. That's where I think the money is going to be made. So it might not be a one day, hey, Algeria is playing Argentina. This place is going to be, doing great because that match is in town. But England is staying here full-time in Prairie Village. There are going to be English fans, maybe not 600,000 of them, but they're going to be English fans staying in Kansas City because that's where the base camp for their team is. There are going to be people staying in town because the Netherlands is in town and at Riverside, training at Riverside. I do think the matches, as far as people coming in town, might be overblown, but I think the host city part is where you'll feel the difference. I still have my questions about the 600, 800,000, but I do think
there ain't no 800,000 people coming.
800,000 feels way
I'm saying
north.
This is unscientific. We have too many stories. Just a month ago, the airport came out and said, our logs are not matching this expectation. Where are all these people flying in from? We only got 2 airports. I guess we got more than that, but you ain't flying into the Lee Summit Airport if you're coming to this thing. You are coming to KCI or the downtown airport. Their logs do not match the amount of people that they are telling us are coming to this thing. Right now on the KCTV5 website, hotels in the airport, they are waiting for the rush. This thing is less than 2 months away. If the rush hasn't started now, the rush is not happening here. I also think, now this is a prediction. This is a prediction. I do not think enough people are coming, and I don't think the interest is there enough to justify the ticket prices that they have for some of these games.
I don't think that's an interest problem. I think that's a third party. I think it's all of it. I think it's the way tickets are done in America, because someone on the text line points out, Qatar or Qatar, however you say it. Tickets
know what you're talking about.
Tickets were $75.
They ain't $75 for this thing.
This is price gouging at its finest. The reason you hate Ticketmaster is on full display during the World Cup.
I paid $140 to sit next to Lamar Hunt to watch this thing. That's how much I paid. $140, and they got me in the Jordan Love legacy seats. I'm near the top of the top. I just wanted to say that I went. I just wanted to say that I'll go to the thing. But they got me up in the top. I was interested in sitting down low. I don't like soccer enough to spend $300 a ticket to watch soccer. Certainly not to watch the people I don't know play soccer. I think one of these ticket markets is going to completely crash. Other than the one I think everybody's expecting. That one game that I'm going to, what's the game again? I can't even remember. What's the game that I gave you the money for?
Algeria versus Argentina.
Ain't nobody going to that game. I'm just saying, ain't nobody going to that game.
Text line makes a great point to further the cheapness. You get into the final last year between France and Argentina and Qatar for $80. The final.
Yeah, the final here is going to be $3,000 to go to.
The final, it's in, I believe, New York. Yeah, you have to pay your mortgage. This is just price gouging at the highest level. I think that if you're asking me, hey, Rob, what's the one reason people don't appear to be coming the way people anticipated? It's not politics. It's not, appetite for soccer. It is price gouging.
It's all of those things. No, for sure. It's all of those things. But if I'm saying one of those is going to crash. Like, I wanted to go to the Netherlands game. I still want to go to the Netherlands game. I'm still very interested in going to it. I was sitting there looking, the cheapest ticket is for, I don't like soccer enough to spend that much. I think there's a lot of people that feel the way that I feel. Hey, I would want to go to this thing, but then I looked at the ticket prices. I'm not that interested in going to it. It's a cool thing. I'm happy for the city. I'm excited for the city. I don't care enough about this event to spend $800. Then the parking's inconvenient. You're trying to hit me up for this. I'll just watch it on television. Or I'll go down to Power and Light just to feel the energy of it and people going out there. I'll go to the fan experience, all of those things. I'm happy. I really am. I don't want anybody to take this. I'm not happy that the World Cup is here. Anything that's good for the city and the national profile of the city, I am for. I'm starting to feel more and more like this is a scam. That's what this is. This is a scam.
to be fair, FIFA is known for being super corrupt.
They've been lying about everything. They're lying about hotels, lying about the airport, lying about how many people are coming. They're trying to gouge you with the ticket prices. It's $200 to park out of Arrowhead Stadium. It's just it's a lot of nonsense. I'm sorry. It's a lot of nonsense going on right now with the World Cup. I'm sure it will be a great event, and we will look back like, oh, that was cool. I'm happy that we got that. I'm sorry. I don't like soccer enough to pay that much to go. I'll go to Sporting Kansas City, and I'll just email somebody and sit right there on the field. I'm not paying for all this. This is crazy. Someone said your tickets are less than face value. Trust me, I didn't do nothing special. I bought my tickets right there on the FIFA website. We didn't do anything. There is no ticket ferry for the World Cup. There's no ticket ferry for the World Cup. There's a ticket ferry for a lot of things. There's no ticket ferry for the World Cup.
If we had a hookup, we would not be sitting where we're sitting.
I wouldn't even be telling you if I had the hookup for the World Cup tickets. I wouldn't even be telling y'all that. Not before I go to it. I tell you afterwards. I would not tell you before. Not for that. Sporting Kansas City. Oh yeah, where do you want to sit for the World Cup? I'm telling you, they got me up near the lights. That's where I am. I can't remember the last time I sat in the 300 level for the World Cup or for a game at Arrowhead. I'll be up there for Algeria, Tunisia, or whoever. I don't remember who I'm going to see play. Coming up at the top of the hour, we will reset things. Kansas has the #1 overall recruit. The Royals might be good again. There's a lot happening. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison, the go-to show for dating advice you didn't ask for.
If you got to ask your girl to help on the bill on Valentine's Day, you've done something wrong.
On your home for Kansas City sports, 96.5, The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5, The Fan.
Got the crash that is near Independence, 435 southbound just before 24 Highway. Left lane is blocked. Near downtown, we've got the new one that's 35 northbound in front. 2 left lanes are blocked. I see a lot of red, a lot of backup. Crash 35 southbound. It's the on-ramp from Lamar affecting 35 southbound. Be prepared to tap your brakes. I'm Foul with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
DQ presents the $7 meal deal. A delicious meal serving up serious value. We're talking 100% white meat, seasoned chicken strips, full-size fries, a drink, and of course, a classic DQ sundae. Because come on, no meal is complete without a sweet treat. All for just $7. And now you can try it with the new honey sriracha dip. The DQ $7 meal deal. A satisfying meal full of big flavor for a great value. DQ. Happy tastes good.
What's up, everybody? Nick Costos here with the Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM. Make it legendary. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Taking a look at the pro football futures market following round 1 of the draft, Dallas to make the playoffs, no -125, yes +105. And I love that price for yes for Dallas to make the playoffs, and I like Dallas +230 right now to win the division. Dallas kept its star receiver signing the franchise tag. I think that is a huge deal, and I love Dallas's 2 first-round selections on defense, stud safety from Ohio State, pass rusher from UCF. I love it for Dallas. Dallas going to be a playoff team this season in pro football. That's it for this Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM. Download the BetMGM app today. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
For nearly 100 years, Busey Wealth Management has helped families and businesses make smart financial decisions that stand the test of time. From personalized investment plans to tax strategies that work for you, we take a big picture approach, connecting you with the right experts to help protect what you've built and plan for what's next. Busey Wealth Management, here for every chapter of your financial story.
Royals coverage sponsored by Park & Go, the best deal on airport parking.
Trading the jacket for flip-flops? Start your sun-soaked getaway stress-free with Park & Go. All covered parking keeps your car cool and protected while you're catching rays. Quick shuttle straight to the terminal. Reserve now at bookparkandgo.com. Park & Go, family-owned, customer-approved.
Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch all your favorite shows, shorts, and clips. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Congratulations on getting through your 9 to 5. Thank you so much for listening. It is The Drive. You were listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and the Odyssey app. We have been having a lot of fun today. This is actually my last day this week. Tomorrow, the Royals have a day game. On Friday, I will be in Kentucky for the Kentucky Oaks, Rob. So this is my last day this week. I trust you and whomever to hold it down. I did not really ask a whole lot of questions this time. Oh, who's filling in? Friday, that is not my concern. You know what? My only concern is going to be trying to hit this exacta and drink these mint juleps. They will not drink themselves. That's all I'm really concerned with. I trust you, Rob, to handle it on Friday. I'll be back on Monday. And hopefully when I am back on Monday, we have more Royals baseball to talk about. Now, maybe I was wrong in this. But I said, like last Thursday, I said I did not plan on talking about the Royals until I got back from Louisville. I did say that. But the way they've been playing these last couple of days, I at least have to talk about them. And we have to give you a random lineup because that's the job. Now, maybe this is me hating just a little bit, just a teeny bit. I am not surprised that once the Royals stopped playing the big dogs, the Royals got back to their winning ways. The Royals were doing just fine. They were a 500-ish baseball team, and then they went on the road to play Detroit. Then they went on the road to play the Yankees. Now, they just cannot beat the Yankees. They just cannot beat them right now. The Yankees swept them in every game last year. They won all 3 games this year. They made quick work out of the Royals a couple of years ago in the postseason. Right now, the Royals just do not match up very well against the Yankees. But we knew how important of a series that was and how much of a stretch that was. The Royals lost every game during that stretch. The Royals lost every game back home. They win a series against the Angels. They sweep the series. They won 1 game against Baltimore, certainly had another chance to win a game. None of that matters. The Royals have won 5 of their last 6 games. They are now 12-17. Now, maybe we use basketball analogies too much. I love basketball, but I actually think this one applies. Have you ever been watching a basketball game and your team is down 16? Your team is getting blown out. And then your team goes on a 12-4 run. Oh, hey, that's a nice run. Next thing you know, you look up, and this 16-point game is now an 8-point game. And you're starting to feel good. The momentum is there. The team is playing with more confidence. Your team has been knocking down shots. The other team hasn't been knocking down shots. That's good. But eventually, you have to take the lead because we also have seen a lot of basketball games where that scenario happens. You are down big. You make a little bit of a run. Next thing you know, it's a 4-point game. You turn the basketball over. The other team hits a 3. Now it's down to 7. And all the momentum that you have built up has now completely evaporated. And then you ultimately lose the game. I don't think I'm telling you something that you don't already know. But in order for me to get back excited about the Royals, they have to get back to 500. You're not making the playoffs if you're below 500. I'm not now changing my expectations for the Royals. This was a playoff or bust year. This was a you could win the division. Them winning 79 games holds no value to me. None. I don't care. Them winning 81 games, them getting back to 500 holds 0 value to me. It is, can they turn this around and make the postseason? And there's certainly a lot of time to do that. And with the way their division is right now and them only being 2.5 games back, can they turn around and really contend to win this division? You have to get back to 500 in order to do that. I don't just think this. JJ Piccolo thinks this. He was on the midday show earlier. Listen to what he said.
And understand this is a grind. It's every day, one day at a time. Win series, and get yourself back to 500 first, and then start that climb, trying to get back on top of the division. But we can't get too far ahead of ourselves. We've got to worry about tonight in Sacramento first.
Get back to 500. That's the goal. Now, Vern puts a little bit of a timetable on it on when he thinks they need to get back to 500. Here is Vern on the morning show.
Thing that I've said of late is I'm looking at that series in the middle of June against the Washington Nationals. At the end of that series, if you can be a 500 ball club, that's my goal. Middle of June, get back to 500, a month to go before the All-Star break, a month and a half before the trade deadline. It's a 3-game series in the nation's capital. By then, I want this team at 500. And then, the JJ Piccolo in this front office, they'll have a month and a half to the deadline to improve this team, and anything is possible. So, yeah, ideally, you get to 500 quicker than that, and ideally, you take 2 of 3 from Sacramento and 2 of 3 from Seattle and return home and start doing damage in the division. But I have 28 games of evidence to go off of. It's hard for me to sit here and confidently say the boys are going to take 2 of 3. Yes, that should be the expectation.
If you look at the American League right now, every team outside of 2 are very bunched up. The Yankees have 20 wins. They're the best team in the American League. Tampa Bay has 18 wins. They're the second best team in the American League. There is not a team that has 16 wins. Everybody has between 15 and 11 outside of that. So there is nobody that's like really dragging up the caboose. There's not a team with like 9 wins, but there is only 2 teams right now in the American League with more than 16 wins. Rob, there's only 3 teams in the American League right now that have a winning record. Now, you cannot expect this to be the case for the entire season. There's going to be some teams that get hot, kind of like how the Royals are hot right now. One day you'll look up and the Tigers have won 7 of 9. You'll look up one day and Seattle has won 10 of 11. That's just how baseball goes. You go in these stretches. One of the reasons why we all were worried about the Royals is you now have to spend so much time to make up the damage that you did that week where you lost every single game, and how quickly can you regain that and get to a neutral place. If the Royals can get back to 500 in the next 30 days, they put themselves basically where they were last year. Last year's team absolutely had a chance to make the postseason. Rob, heading into June 1st, the Royals were a game out of the wild card. You can live with that. Maybe the Royals won't win the division. Maybe the Tigers get hot. Maybe the Guardians end up being hot in that scenario. But if the Royals can get back to 500, they will have a realistic chance of making the playoffs again, and they will basically undo everything that happened during that 10 to 12-day stretch. That's the goal now. When can you get back to 500? Do you get back to 500? How quickly can you do it? Now, can you continue it? The pitching has been good. Their offense has turned things around. Can you keep this up? But what my fear would be with the Royals, and I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer, I'm not trying to be negative. My fear would be is when the schedule starts to tighten back up and you get out of the Los Angeles Angels, who have been mid for the last decade, or the A's, who are not a good team, when you get back to playing the real teams, when you get back to playing the real competition, the Royals go back to playing the Royals. Or a team that, hey, the offense is turned on. Look at the last week with the Royals. 5, 6, 6, 6, 12, 11, 4. If this is the version of the Royals that is here now and how bad they were offensively for those first 3 weeks are gone, they will make this up if their pitching continues to stay where it is. Carlos Estevez is right now pitching in the minors. He's starting to get his velocity back, so that's a nice arm that you can throw into the bullpen that can give you a little bit more support. It is not outside the realm of possibility. Maybe you guys have heard this saying before is you can only eat an elephant one bite at a time. The Royals cannot completely undo a 7-game losing streak, 8-game losing streak, or a stretch where they lost. They lost 9 out of 10 games for a stretch. They started that stretch at 7-9. They came out on the other side of it 8-17. You cannot in one series just completely undo that. but win this series against the A's. The Seattle Mariners right now are playing very average baseball. That's a series you can win. Then you come back home for 7. You just got to start chipping away at this thing, but you got to start winning series. You have to continue what you've done offensively, and you can undo all of the negative that you had back in April.
I post this on Twitter, and I'm curious where you land on this because I got a lot of pushback. I said yesterday that this is, I don't want to call it a must-win series, but it's pretty pivotal for the season because if you end April winning this series, which April ends tomorrow, you'll be 13-18 with a series win. You're 5 games under 500. You can get back to 500 by June. You can get back to 500 by the start of July. You can be in the playoff race come August. Like, you are not dead and buried. 5 games under is not a death sentence. People on social media do what people on social media do. They got all mad. They were in an uproar. How can you say that? There's a lot of season left. Look how bad the AL Central is. You know, it's only been blank amount of games, Rob. How can you say that? This, that, and the other. Do you think that there is reason to continue to be optimistic despite being under 500 with the Royals season because of how terrible the AL Central is? Because John Heyman, friend of the show? He used to be a friend of the show.
Yeah, we count him a friend of the show.
He said
he's not dear friend of the show, but yeah, we like him.
We used to be closer on the show, but now times have changed. Either way, he mentioned there are no AL Central teams over 500. So the Royals have been given a gift by their bad division. If they can win the series against the A's and be 5 games under, they're not dead and buried because of how bad the division is, and now you have a chance to start battling back. But do you think Royals fan optimism about the season, despite how bad it started, is because of the division or because you think fans think the team is turning a corner?
Both. I don't think it's an either or. I think that Royals fans are looking at it, and no team has run away from the Royals. And as much grief as we give the Royals, I would say as much kind of back and forth, kind of playful banter we have with people and going out there, people at their core want to believe in the Royals. I think more specifically, people really like this team and had expectations for this team. You start to know the core of this team. Like, this core has been around for a while. You know Bobby at this point. You know Vinny. You know Garcia. You know their rotation. Like, you've gotten very familiar with this team. They have gotten back in your routine. There was a stretch there where, yeah, watching the Royals weren't super important. But now when you come home, you turn it on. When you go to a bar, you want to make sure that the Royals game is on. I think the Royals have gotten back in people's routine based on how they played the last couple of years. And that's why I think people were so mad with the start that they gotten off to. The Royals are better than this. You knew that when they were losing that they were a better team than this. Well, now you got a chance to prove it. You are playing some good baseball right now. The schedule is a little bit favorable. If you win your next couple of series, you can look up and the Royals are only 2 games under 500. And now all of the goals that you had at the very beginning of the season are still very, very much in play. But you got to do the work. Before we get to the hits, you guys know the rules. If we talk about the Royals at any point in the 5 o'clock segment, that can only mean one thing. For the unofficial hit number 1, hit me, Rob.
We're where you want to be. Baseball with the Royals.
Carrington, today's Random Royals lineup takes us back to the year where the Royals started red hot and finished the opposite. 2021, we're on this date in 2021. The Royals beat the Pittsburgh Pirates. Here was your Random Royals lineup.
Let's get it.
Leading off at second base, Whit Merrifield.
I love it.
Have fans forgiven him yet for calling the team a bunch of losers?
Yeah, I do think I think they've forgiven him. I do.
That's what he said.
He did.
Batting second, the first baseman, Carlos Santana. Batting third, the catcher, Salvador Perez. Batting fourth, the right fielder, Jorge Soler.
Didn't he just get into a fight a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah.
That was him beating people up.
Mm-hmm.
Angry man.
He's been in like 4 teams in those 5 years.
Yeah, for sure. They could really use that power bat, though.
I mean, that's all he does. He does not hit for any average. No. Batting fifth, the left fielder, Andrew Benintendi. Batting sixth, the third baseman, Hunter Dozier.
That's Hunter Dozier, man.
Batting seventh, the center fielder, Michael A. Taylor.
Michael A. Taylor. That was Lane Collins of 2017.
And batting eighth, the shortstop, Nicky Lopez.
Lane Thomas. I had him completely switched up.
They're all
was
the
Lane
same.
Thomas and Isaac Collins. My bad. They all look alike. I apologize.
By the way, the Royals did win on this date despite their starter Mike Minor giving up 5 runs in 4 innings, but that offense came to life, and the Royals won on this date 9-6.
Let me ask you this before we move on. You tell me just yes or no. We have an update from the New York Post inside Mike Vrabel's 24-hour emergency marriage summit with his wife in Utah after the photo scandal. Is that a story that you want to discuss, or do you want to let it go? Because I'm either one. I am very intrigued about his 24-hour emergency marriage summit, but we'd have to talk about it though. I can just read it on my own time. Is that something you are interested in discussing with Mike Vrabel?
I think we know what happened, right? Didn't he go shopping and then went back to work? That's what happened.
I don't know. I'm asking.
I'm sure the story says more, but based on the amount of paparazzi photos I've seen in my life of Mike Vrabel, I have a pretty good understanding of what that story reads.
Well, I'm telling you right now, somebody was telling the dirt. Somebody even has their order. They couldn't wait to share this information with the New York Post. They're going through what they both ordered at this dinner. You just tell me. I'm just a messenger here. That's what I'm here for. I am just the messenger. If you want to learn more about Mike Vrabel and his wife, they had an emergency 24-hour marriage summit. The New York Daily News, they're going to get every drop of juice out of this story. They got it. They got the win. They beat TMZ. You know that's their big report. They're going to cover every angle of this thing.
I cannot wait for the first Patriot loss when they post Diana Rossini's alleged lover 0-1. That's going to be a great news story.
No, for sure. They're definitely going to post something like that. Let's talk about this as we are kind of winding down the draft. We'll have less draft topics next week. The draft, we've kind of all covered it. I think people are really coming around on Mansour Delane, and I'm very happy with this. I really am. I'm happy. I think more people are starting to see the bigger picture. I think more people are starting to see the vision in all of it. We had Matt Verderam on the show yesterday. He said that Mansour Delane is a no red flag kind of player.
I will say this. The hit rate on top 10 corners is tremendous. There are no red flags. That guy can play every position. I wrote about him before the draft. He was a top 5 player in the draft for me. I thought he was up there with Love, Reese, Bailey. I actually thought they were going to take Bain when they moved up, but I think that Delane's a cleaner prospect. So I don't have the concern that you do with Bain with the arms, whether or not that's something that's important. We'll see.
We had Sam Munson on the show earlier today, and he said that Mansour Delane's tape reminds him a lot of Patrick Surtain.
He's not as big as Patrick Surtain, but I think he plays the game in a very similar way. Like, they have this incredible level of patience where, they're not necessarily going to get super physical and aggressive and jam corners or jam receivers at the line, but they stay incredibly patient. It's very difficult to beat them with your release, with your route running at the stem, and over the top. Like, they don't get beaten on double moves either. So he does remind me a lot of Surtain, albeit with a slightly different body shape and size.
This is where I think Chiefs fans are, and you guys can tell me if you think I'm off. 913-586-7965. I think the Chiefs fans are over the trade because in the beginning, there was a sentiment of you just traded 3 picks, or you just got 3 picks for a corner. Why are you now giving up 3 picks for a corner? There was that. There was a lot of sentiment of he is just going to be there at 9. We were starting to find out that was not the case. Mansour Delane was not going to be there for the Chiefs at 9. So I'm happy, and have always been happy, that the Chiefs moved up to go get the prospect that they love. That was not always the case, but I think people are coming around. I would say number 2, people seem to be over the Ruben Bain idea. It was fun. It was great. He was phenomenal in the college football playoff. He was a nice sports radio topic. Do you want the wide receiver? Do you want the defensive line? Do you want the safety? I do not think the Chiefs were nearly as interested in Ruben Bain as we think they were interested. They had chances to get him, and they chose not to go get him. They could have waited. They could have moved back. They could have done a lot of things. They were fine with moving up, and even if they had stayed at 9, I do not believe they were going to take Ruben Bain. That is not the direction that they were going to go. I also think that people are now excited about the prospect and who he could potentially be. He has a chance to be one of the best defensive players in the National Football League. That's a very, very valuable thing. I don't think that Ruben Bain will ever be in that conversation. I strongly doubt that Caleb Downs is in that conversation. I think there is a chance that Mansour Delane is in that conversation as best defensive player in the league. Now, a lot has to go right for sure. But if he turns out to be a legit hit at top 10 pick corner, think about the guys that is. That's Derek Stingley. That's Jalen Ramsey. That's Patrick Surtain. That's guys who are in the conversation of being one of the best defensive players in the league. I think that people have come around on Mansour Delane. I think people understand the move. I think people are excited about the move. And early on, I think a lot of people wanted Bain. I think a lot of people are starting to see the Chiefs' vision and why they were not going to invest in Bain. It is very clear to me. The Chiefs were not interested in gambling with the top 10 pick. They were interested in gambling at pick 29. Peter Woods is a gamble. Like, we talk about the draft being a crapshoot. That is exactly what Peter Woods is. He was okay last year. He was really good 2 years ago. He's got this, he's got that, but the talent is there. And now is the question, can you coach him up? He is a 50-50 prospect. Mansour Delane is not a 50-50 prospect. He is a 70-30. He is a 75-25 prospect. That's what they were looking for with the top 10 pick.
Do you think some of that fear, anger, animosity, whatever you want to use, from Thursday night last week was squelched because on Friday night they took R. Mason Thomas?
Yes.
Because I think that has the most to do with it than anything. I still don't like the process, but you're right. The process is a thing that only I will care about in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. It will just be me. I get that. I think the immediate outrage had nothing to do with the player. It was the fact that it was all edge all the time. We did not ask the bevy of draft people we had. We asked one or two about Mansour Delane. We asked all of them about every pass rusher. Hey, we asked them about Ruben Bain's baby arms. His T-Rex arms are a bigger conversation on this show than the top corner and your corner dot. So I think fans on Thursday were upset because, like, all I've heard for 5 months is edge, and we didn't get edge. And I think by the time Saturday happened and fans woke up and they realized, oh, we have one now, and oh, he went to the same school as Nick Bonito, and oh, he has the same body type as Nick Bonito, and oh, he's fast. I think then they started doing their Googles and realized Mansour Delane is a good player, and all that angst dissipated. But on Thursday, I understood why the angst existed for fans. They hadn't done any research on Mansour Delane because he wasn't an edge rusher.
I think Mansour Delane is a foundational piece. I do. I think he is a foundational piece. I think he is a guy that you are counting on in 3 years, that you are building your defense around him. Now, you need to find more pass rushers. Like, Derek Stingley is phenomenal. He also plays with Daniil Hunter and also plays with Will Anderson. That helps in why I think he's one of the 3 best corners in the league. But Derek Stingley is a high-end cornerback talent. So you need to make sure the pass rush is there. There's no question about it. But I think people are coming around for the Chiefs may have gotten one of the best and safest prospects that you could get in this year's NFL draft. Last thought here on the Chiefs. I want to play this audio for you. I'm happy to hear more people on the side of go get Cam Jordan. Here's Kay Adams.
I've just done a lot of thinking about this. We spoke to a lot of people about this, and I want to make my case here that he does, in fact, need to be a Kansas City Chief. Big year last year. I don't know what we're doing. 10.5 sacks for Cam. I think the Chiefs, they can reach at an edge. I don't know why not. I know you drafted Mason Thomas in the 2nd round, but you can't have too many of these, especially if you want to get back to greatness and win the Super Bowl. I hope that Spytek isn't listening to this as we give love to the Chiefs and hope that they do well and bid them, want them to be competitive next year. That AFC West is nuts. I'd like to see it for Cam. Saints fans are a different breed because I think that they are understanding of where they are. They're going to win. They're going to contend. They've got a winnable division down there. But I don't know if you're getting to a Super Bowl while Cam is still playing. You're making all the right moves, most explosive weaponry in the NFL maybe on offense. I love what the Saints got going on. But I would like to see him get a ring before he hangs it up. I think he's coming back to play, and I'd like it to be, if it was the Saints, like I don't know what's holding that up, who's waiting, what the deal is, whatever. But if Cam's on the, if you're on the fence, if you get an offer from Kansas City, please take it.
Yeah, no, yes. Okay, you and I are on the same page. I love hearing that. I'm happy that we are starting to pick up members of the Chiefs going out to get Cam Jordan. Someone just texted in, C-Dot, I blame you guys for the angst. I don't remember his name coming up. I will tell you, the only reason why I wasn't really on board with them going to get Mansour Delane, or why we didn't spend a whole lot of time talking about it, was it was simple. I just didn't think they were going to draft a corner because they don't pay corners. And if you were going to spend the 9th overall pick on a cornerback, I would hope that's a guy you plan on having for more than 4 seasons. That is still a serious question that I have with Mansour Delane. But that's why I didn't really spend a whole lot of time talking about it, because I just didn't think they were going to pay him. I'm still a little bit surprised that they got him. So I'm going into it with he's a really good prospect, and we can have the what are they going to do long-term conversation when we get there. But we at least got 3.5 years before we start to have that conversation. We don't need to have that conversation today. All right, coming up on the other side, I want to talk a little bit of basketball right now. Kansas got the #1 overall recruit, and I don't know if you saw it yesterday, but Joel Embiid was amazing. We'll talk about it. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
The first leg of the horse racing Triple Crown is on Saturday, so whether you're going to Churchill Downs or you're watching it from the comfort of your couch, you can bet the Kentucky Derby on the same place that you can bet on all of your other favorite sports on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app. And right now, all customers can get a Derby bet reset. That means you'll get racing bonus backs if your bet doesn't win. The app is super easy to use. You don't have to be a horse racing expert to get in on the Derby Day action. This is one of my favorite events of the sports calendar. There's no better place to celebrate one of America's exciting sporting events than with our friends over at FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app. So bet the fastest 2 minutes in sports on FanDuel and make it that much more exciting with your Derby bet reset. The Kentucky Derby and Kentucky Oaks are registered trademarks of Churchill Downs Incorporated. 21 and present in Missouri. Verified FD racing account required. Refund issued. Non-withdrawal of racing site credit expires 7 days after receipt. Max refund $10 as otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at racing.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey guys, it's Rob Brennan from The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, and we're excited to announce the launch of Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series documenting the run-up to the upcoming World Cup with our friends over at 98.1 KMBZ.
And I'm Scott Parks from Dana and Parks on KMBZ. Beyond the Pitch KC features the biggest names who helped make the World Cup in Kansas City possible. And there was a lot of work, plus the major storylines heading into this summer's tournament.
This is so much more. This isn't just a podcast about soccer.
No, you're right, Rob. It's a podcast about Kansas City, for Kansas City, telling the story of how our town is hosting the world's biggest sporting event.
New episodes drop every Wednesday starting on March 4th, along with video clips that can be seen on 96.5 The Fan and KMBZ social channels.
So make sure you subscribe. Download Beyond the Pitch KC with Rob Brennan and myself, Scott Parks, on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
She walked miles with her granddaughters every day at Disney with zero knee pain, but she couldn't have done that months ago. This all started with a visit to QC Kinetics.
We have spent the last 4 days going from park to park, walking all day long, no pain. I feel fantastic.
Here's what baffles people when they hear Kathy's story.
The doctor said, you need 2 full knee replacements. And I said, that's not going to happen. I went to QC Kinetics. I started treatment that day. Within a couple of weeks, I was absolutely pain-free.
It's the kind of story that QC Kinetics hears from patients all the time.
I cannot thank QC Kinetics enough for giving me my life back. I'm active again and loving it. I'm well over a year out. I've had absolutely no pain in either knee.
Before you agree to surgery, listen to this. Think about it.
Tomorrow is Animal Kingdom, so yeah, gotta go.
Kathy's glad she took them up on the free consultation. We have one set aside for you.
Call QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. 816-412-6299.
I need a little range, step to the range.
There's a new flavor in town, the Jalapeno Ranch Club at Chick-fil-A. With that juicy Chick-fil-A original spicy or grilled chicken, a buttermilk ranch bun, candied bacon, pepper jack cheese, and jalapeno ranch sauce. It's got big ranch vibes with a little heat. Chick-fil-A's new Jalapeno Ranch Club, available for a limited time only. Order ahead on the Chick-fil-A app.
Everything you knew about reaching customers online is being rewritten. Time to rethink your approach. Outcomes from Viant finds real customers, not impressions, not clicks, customers. Our AI maximizes every dollar of your budget against the outcomes that matter most and proves it happened. It's smarter advertising made simple. Visit Viant.ai.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
Things are starting to unwind. You're moving a little smoother down near Gardner. That crash 35 southbound through that area is cleared. Still working in the triangle for 35 southbound past Gregory. Scoot to the left through here. That right lane still blocked. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's George Karlaftis from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome to The Drive with CDOT on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
This is very much a basketball thing, but I think that every basketball generation has a what-if player. For example, in the 80s, you could maybe argue it was Ralph Sampson. In the 90s, you could probably argue that it was Penny Hardaway. In the 2000s, maybe a Brandon Roy, Greg Oden. The 2010s, maybe you want to go with the Derrick Rose type. Like every basketball era, every decade sort of has that player where everybody knows they could hoop, but just their knees just couldn't hold up. A Grant Hill, a Penny Hardaway, one of those kind of types. As I was watching the NBA playoffs yesterday, it got me thinking. I think we're going to look at Joel Embiid that same way. Now, Embiid has gotten to play a lot, but he's also missed a lot of time too. There was a point in the season, I can't remember when it was. I remember we were going to talk about this, and Rob said he didn't think anybody would care because it was in the middle of football season. There was a point this basketball season where in Joel Embiid's career, he was exactly at 50-50. He had played in 50% of his available games. He had missed 50% of his available games. I think Joel Embiid is the second best big man of his generation. I think Joel Embiid's a better player than Anthony Davis. I think Anthony Davis is phenomenal. I think Jokic is the best big man from his era. I think Joel Embiid is second. I mean, if you're looking at Embiid and what he actually did and what he actually accomplished, he won NBA MVP. 7-time All-Star. He has been either first or second team All-NBA 5 times. He's been on the All-Defensive team. He has won the scoring title 2 times as a big. Think about that. In a 3-point shooting era, Joel Embiid has won the scoring title in back-to-back seasons as a big. Joel Embiid is one of the more skilled and talented basketball players that we have ever seen. Gosh, he cannot stay healthy, and he has not stayed healthy. He has either not stayed healthy or been on the wrong end of some things. I would say his best year to win a championship, he was on the wrong end of one of the 5 greatest shots in NBA history. When he had him, Jimmy Butler, and Ben Simmons, who was still playing at a high level, they lost to that Toronto team in that Kawhi Leonard shot. I don't think that Joel Embiid is the greatest what-if of all time because he has played enough. I mean, you played enough to win MVP and do all these other things. You were on the court enough. But I think that Joel Embiid is going to be one of those basketball mysteries where if he could have stayed healthy, we could have been talking about a guy that won 2 championships and been viewed more like Hakeem Olajuwon. But that's not the way I think we're going to tell the story of Joel Embiid whenever he's done playing.
You know how Kansas fans talk about Joel Embiid were like, man, he was great in college, then his body broke down. And if he had played in the tournament, you never know. Because he was probably the best big man in college basketball that year. Maybe you say Jahlil Okafor was better. It doesn't matter. He was one of the best big men in college basketball. I think Philadelphia fans have that sensation 1,000 times worse in his time in the NBA. You know that if you look at his Wikipedia page right now, he's got a pretty good resume. He's won MVP. He's been, one of the best players in the NBA. He has an Olympic gold medal for Team USA. Like, Joel Embiid has a good Wikipedia page.
He was also pretty phenomenal in that game, too. I don't think a lot of people are going to remember it that way, but, I mean, the United States had their back up against the wall against Serbia back in 2024, and Steph obviously hit some big shots in that game, but Joel Embiid going up against Nikola Jokic is a significant reason of how they came back in that fourth quarter.
100%. And my point was, despite a good Wikipedia page, you'll go on a radio show one day and you'll be like, former MVP, Olympic gold medalist, you're still going to wonder, that's it? You're going to have that feeling of, why isn't there more? So it's a weird thing with Joel Embiid and the fact that he does have a lot of accomplishments already, but the accomplishments feel like he could have so much more. It's just he couldn't stay healthy.
So let's talk about Kansas here for a little bit as well, and we'll get back to a little bit of football. So Kansas, they go out, and they did exactly what they had to do. This was the number one player on their wish list this offseason. I'm not really sure that it was close. Kansas still has some work to do in the portal, but there are certainly still available players in the portal. You maybe can't enter the portal, but you can certainly now still, if you are in the portal, you can still commit to a school. This was their number one wish list item. I mean, they have the best high school player, the best high school recruit. This gives them a legitimate number one. This gives them somebody that could average 20 points per game next year. He's going to be a preseason All-America type. He's going to be a preseason All-Big 12 kind of player. This gives you a legitimate, reasonable people are on the same side. If you have the chance to get the number one overall recruit, you have to take him every single time. But last year, it came with so much other stuff. And a lot of it just felt like I got paid. I can just do whatever I want to do. This kid also got paid. Like, he is coming into it with an insane amount of money. He has an NBA 2K deal, already has a Nike deal. He's got a trading card deal. Like, he's coming into it. I actually think $2 million is probably a low number for how much he's getting. I think he's probably getting somewhere closer to $3 to $5 million. So he's coming in with a significant amount of money. So I think people are only looking at the headache of last year and not the, hey, this is not everybody's experience. I don't think this was Arkansas's experience with Darius Acuff. This was not Duke's experience with Cameron Boozer. You have one of those kind of prospects that just committed.
I also think fans fail to realize, and it's because fans are somewhat myopic, and I understand why, to your point, the Darren Peterson experience is an outlier when it comes to number one overall talent. Like, if we pulled the number one overall high school kid in college basketball recruiting, it would be a lot of kids who either were dogs or guys who were great and their team made a run. Like, 2 years ago, I'm not comparing the two players, Cooper Flagg was the number one overall recruit. They went to the Final Four, and it was an incredible experience for Duke. He got paid at Duke, by the way. A couple of years ago, COVID year, Chet Holmgren was the number one overall recruit. That Gonzaga team was incredible with Chet Holmgren. They went to the Final Four. Now, they lose, but they went to the Final Four. Like, we can pull who the number one high school player is, and more times than not, it's met with, oh, they had big success in college, or their team made a run. I can't remember if Zion or was it the RJ Barrett ended up being the number one overall kid in that class. But Duke got that kid right before the NIL era. They went to the Elite Eight. Like, I understand why fans are jaded about last year's experience with Darren, but I think they need to, take a step back and understand what happened with Darren is not the norm. And if what happens more normal with top high school recruits happens, KU's a second weekend team in the NCAA tournament, and they have an All-American on their roster.
Someone on the text line says, how is his Nike deal going to work while he's at Kansas and Adidas school? I do not have the answer to that. I imagine we will get the answer to that at some point, but, I mean, he's committed now. He was physically there today, so I'm imagining some hands were shook. I'm imagining some paperwork was signed. Why else would you be in Lawrence immediately, less than 24 hours after committing to Kansas? I'm admitting that everybody is on the same page about this.
Also, it's worth noting, supposedly he took less money to go to Kansas than he would have gotten from Oregon or Kentucky, which is crazy to me.
You believe that?
Oregon,
I'm just throwing out there. You believe that?
Oregon, yes.
Yeah, okay. I'm just asking if you believe it.
I'm sure Oregon gave a blank check. I'm sure Phil Knight said whatever it takes.
Okay.
But you need to play at Oregon. I mean, no one's going to watch your games. You disappear to the ether.
Why do you think Duke wasn't interested?
because they have a bunch of other kids lined up already.
He's the best, though.
That's true.
I was just interested because usually if you were down to a top 3, it is not Kansas, Kentucky, Oregon, especially if you're a Nike school.
Mm-hmm.
Arkansas is a Nike school with John Calipari. I mean, Calipari has had those guys for a while.
Now they have
and also Duke. Duke's the top Nike basketball school. So I was a little bit surprised that Duke was just not more interested in this. I don't think that Tyran Stokes is the perfect prospect. This is not me hating because I'm a Missouri fan. He got kicked off of his high school basketball team as a senior. Just think about that. He is the best high school basketball player in the world. He was about to be expelled from school and had to transfer out of it, so he didn't have that on his record.
There's also some stuff about people didn't like playing AAU with him. He bounced around from AAU teams. Like he's a great player, but he is an imperfect prospect for a lot of reasons. That's how recruiting works sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. Someone said maybe he wasn't interested in Duke. I find that hard to believe, just given Duke's history with these kind of prospects over the last 25 years. I just find it hard to believe that the top high school basketball players got an NIL deal with Nike was just not interested in Duke. I find that hard to believe. I think Duke was not interested in him, is what I would guess. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Well, it's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here. Let me ask you a couple of questions. Do you have poor sleep? What about low energy? How about brain fog, a reduced sex drive, weight gain, and workouts that just don't deliver like they used to? Well, the problem could be low testosterone. And the truth is, those testosterone levels can start declining as early as your 30s, 2 or 3% every single year. And before you know it, you just don't feel like the same man you did back in the day. Well, you don't have to accept this as just aging. Heartland Men's Health specializes in customized testosterone therapy and targeted body composition plans. You might think you have low T. Well, pick up the phone and call this number, 844-447-6600, or check out the website and take this simple 10-question quiz. Visit heartlandmenshealth.com. Your initial visit is just $100, includes a medical consultation, a PSA test, and lab results in about 30 minutes, and your treatment can start that day. 3 locations, Overland Park, Independence, North Kansas City. There's no need to wait. Go stop by and see my friends over at Heartland Men's Health.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Hi, I'm Emily, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company, where fine jewelry is always crafted with care no matter the price. Mother's Day, birthdays and graduations, weddings and anniversaries, the new job you got, and even the one you didn't. Give a birthstone necklace, a heart-shaped locket made in Italy, or high-quality diamond studs you can trade up every year. At Shane Company, we have something for everyone, because a friend wants you to win the gifting game. Visit us in store or at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Tonight, expect a low of 45 with partly cloudy skies.
Weather brought to you by Staples. Epic parties start at Staples. Now you can grab Party City balloons, decorations, and tableware, plus matching custom invites, banners, and more right at Staples. That was easy.
Spring is here, and as the weather heats up, the sports action heats up at Circus Sports. From baseball to basketball to hockey, Circus Sports has it all. Circus Sports isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. High betting limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Whether you're looking for playoff futures or props on your favorite players and more, Circus Sports has you covered. And don't miss out on the special Royals props for every game. Download Circus Sports app or visit circusports.com today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
In a field of thousands, one has emerged. Back from the brink, now poised to take its rightful place amongst the greatest lawns of all time. It's the birth of a true turf champion, and a story that will live on at summer barbecues and in neighborhood group chats for all time. Your lawn is back, baby, and it's Weedman for the win. Go to weedman.com, enter promo code GREEN, and get one free service.
Hello?
Hey, sis. Got a sec?
Yeah, what's up?
Take a look at the picture I just sent you.
I'm walking into Hellsburg and want to get Mom something special for Mother's Day.
Yeah, she's done so much for us this year. Let's see. Diamond pendant. Oh, she'd love this.
Great. I'll get this, which means you're in charge of flowers.
Okay, deal.
This Mother's Day, save up to 50% on timeless gifts for Mom. Shop at a store near you or at Hellsburg.com.
This summer, Casey's has 89-cent medium fountain and new Frostbite by Casey's drinks. But if you don't have 89 cents, you could check your center console, dig between your couch cushions, ask Grandma for $1, or just use your credit card. 89-cent medium Frostbite by Casey's or fountain drinks at Casey's. All summer long. Restrictions may apply. See store for details.
Baseball is back, and BetMGM, official partner of Major League Baseball, is bringing the high heat all season long. Step up to the plate all season with Swing for the Fences, the free-to-play game where every swing could score you rewards. We're talking parlay boost tokens, odds boost tokens, same-game parlay boosts, and even bonus spins all season long. And the action doesn't stop there. Get more out of every at-bat and every inning with MLB same-game parlay boosts. Stack your picks and boost your potential payout. Plus, lock in bigger value with MLB odds boost tokens and MLB parlay boost tokens all season long. More boosts, more swings, more chances to win. Download the BetMGM app and step up to the plate today. See BetMGM.com for terms. Must be 21 years of age or older. Promotional offers may vary by market. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards may vary. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. For New York, 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For Arizona, 1-800-NEXT-STEP. For Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, 1-800-981-0023. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Rob Sight Ford, KC's Ford volume leader and top rated on Google. 135th and State Line. Rob Sight Ford, your 2025 Ford volume leader. Top rated on Google with 4.8 stars and 3,000 plus reviews. The best selection, best prices, in Kansas City's best customer service. Visit Rob Sight Ford at 135th and State Line. Buy right, save big, and drive home a winner. Only at Rob Sight Ford.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law, 816-888-7500. Hey, Mike's got this. And we've got a new stall, 435 westbound down at Warnell, that's going to slow you down. You'll tap your brakes through there. Crashed Kansas side of things, 70 eastbound, past 57th. Scoot to the left through here, right lane blocked. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome to your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Someone just sent in, hey, Carrington Harrison, do you think Stephen A. Smith knows your name? Did you ever find out? I am actually working on getting Stephen A. Smith to come on the show. We are targeting the Monday after the NBA draft lottery, just to give you a little behind the scenes. I mean, I think he'll come on at some point that week, but we're working on trying to have him on that Monday after the draft lottery to talk about Darren Peterson. So I do think Stephen A. knows my name. I do think that. I look forward to having Stephen A. on the show. It'd be a big deal to have Stephen A. on the show.
I'm terrified we're not going to get him because he doesn't want to go on Carrington Harrison, but he's looking for a Carrington Arrington.
No, don't do that. Don't play us like that. Why you got to do that? We're supposed to be on the same team. We're supposed to rep the same.
And just like that, he's on in Glendale, Arizona after the draft because the request went wrong.
Nah, we're going to give him the right number. Don't do us like that. Don't do us like that. I do want to talk about this before we get out of here. This Brendan Sorsby conversation, if you guys missed it, Brendan Sorsby, he was at Cincinnati. He transferred to Texas Tech. He has a gambling problem. I think that's pretty safe to say. I don't think that is assuming. We have enough information that that's a conclusion you can come to as a gambling problem. I do think that we, and I am a part of this too, I take money from FanDuel every month. I do think that we have to acknowledge the role that we have played in all of this. We have given very young people, I know, when you're 18, you're an adult. Like, come on now. We all were 18 at one point. You were not an adult when you were 18. You still did a lot of childish things. We are giving children, kids, young adults, we are giving them a lot of money. And we are giving them a device that basically allows you to do anything that you want to do. Some of those kids are going to develop very unsafe, unhealthy habits because of it. They're going to. I mean, we learned, Rob, he would sit at baseball games and just bet on if the next pitch was going to be a ball or strike and just sit there and keep doing it. That's a problem. It is. That's a problem. They're saying he made tens of thousands of bets. He even bet on his team when he was a redshirt there. Now, obviously, you are a person, you had a lot to lose, personal responsibility, you knew the rules, you bit the forbidden fruit, all of those things. I'm not saying that that should remove you from punishment, but we just have to acknowledge that in a lot of ways, we have just thrown young people into a lot of these things at 18, 19-year-old, didn't really give them the education, and just told them, hey, you're grown. Some kids are going to fall through the cracks, so to speak. So it is not that much of a surprise to me with how much gambling culture has been pushed on our society over the last 3 to 5 seasons. It is not that much of a surprise to me that a young person got caught up in it, and in a very, very serious way that has, I mean, this is a massive effect on your life. He's not playing college football this season, and I mean, he was one of the more coveted players in the portal. You are not getting all that money anymore. Like, this was $1 million mistake. Millions of dollars mistake. He had a chance to win the Heisman Trophy this year. Like, this was a pretty big thing to happen to him.
I mean, I think college football, what little teeth they have left for punishment, is going to make an example out of him, because you can't have players betting on their own team. I don't care if he was betting for or against Indiana.
For sure.
He's going to get whatever the book says.
His
the book's
problem
being thrown
was
at
much
him.
bigger than that.
I agree.
I understand what you're saying. I don't want to just reduce his problem to he laid a couple of bets on Indiana. He seemed to be a very impulsive gambler in my mind, which, if it is right there on your phone, we are not talking about you can only bet physically at a location that would not allow you to do this. You now have the ability right there to be sitting and watching a game, and you can bet on what the next shot is going to be. You can bet on the next person to foul out of a game. Like, they have created so many of these micro bets that if that's your personality, I can see how you can get caught up into it very, very easily and very, very quickly. So I don't know what's going to happen to the young man. I do feel sorry for him. We'll see what happens and what his next play is, but I do not think he is going to be allowed to play college football anymore, not with the information that we have. I am out for the rest of the week. I'll catch you guys back on Monday. The Royals have a day game tomorrow, so not even sure if we're going to have a show on Thursday anyway. Logan will host on Friday. I'll be back on Monday. I'll catch you guys. Take care of yourself. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison.